Somebody was 81, but we didn't know which one was 81, Joan or you. I thought I was Joan.
That's because they never saw Joan, right? They just heard her. That's what it is.
Yeah, so.
But you know what?
This was fun.
You really look good. I mean, you do. You really do. I'm not
bullshitting.
bullshitting.
Hey, get this. We're going through customs, and the guy says,
"You look good."
He said,
"No doubt."
Mary Hall? I said, "Yeah." He said, "How old are you?" And I told him.
Doesn't she look good for 81 years old?
I don't believe it. And he was looking at my passport.
It's not just the look; she's vibrant.
That's
you got to keep moving.
That's the whole deal.
I've worked my whole life. That's the secret, right there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's impressive.
Your mind,
Dan,
what did you do?
He's 96.
I've been in banking. No, I've been in banking since 1966.
That would be impressive, but your racquetball skills.
I helped open a new bank in Frederick.
He's 96.
But a vibrant 96.
Are you a manager or a president?
Oh yeah, VP, ran the bank.
Yeah.
Gave it all up in 1999.
Some woman just turned 110.
Look
at this,
And her secret sauce was I
Still
never got
logged in.
married ever. That's why she literally said,
Mark
I didn't
Major.
have to argue or move.
You're still logged in.
Oh, you sucker. Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding.
You were still logged in.
I really was, Mark, because I signed out. So you have to sign out of every tab.
I don't know, but you were still signed in.
It was Red Day today.
It was no big deal. I mean, I killed it.
No. I kissed
It's
him.
Comrade Day.
All right,
Because they're red.
Oh my God, he did it again.
Hello, Comrade.
I actually wore a shirt Monday that I almost never wear. It's a weird color, and he shows up with the same thing.
You guys are on the same wavelength.
Don't ever say that.
We have headset thieves.
Oh, so they're here somewhere.
No, they took them away. We'll have to grab one.
What do you mean they took him away?
Well, there's no headset there.
Oh, well, I see what you're saying. Tom.
Yes. As soon as I'm signed in. So in case there's any bad noises, like.
Hey, whatever you did in the third hour yesterday was perfect. Best board hopping ever. You did a great job third hour yesterday.
You are a smart ass.
Honey?
Hey, if Daphne's not up to par, let me know. I can call Nate.
Oh, yeah. I just wondered if that meant yes.
He'll fly in from Alaska.
Okay, then I only need one more thing.
Daphne, you know I love you. Right?
No, tomorrow I think, but I think I can do that tonight, though.
Hey, Dan,
I can
tell
do
me what's
something
going
with that.
on
I
here.
want to go work out.
Oh, maybe that's why they're missing.
I'll see you, baby. Bye.
What are you doing? Let's see here.
Oh, she has. Okay, let's try this.
Don't let Daphne screw anything.
Well,
To say that.
It's not working?
Okay, actually, these headsets.
These sheets are stellar, bro.
Do you want me to try the headset? I'll make sure that they're
Great.
okay.
There we go.
I love
These are working?
Yours. There you go. Thank you. There we go. So hers were here. Okay. These. We're good. And you said your phone is on vibrant? Yes, it is. And you remember all this because you guys are you're great. How are you doing?
What is this on the
Is that
phone?
your new Doug?
No.
I've been wearing them now.
Why not?
That's what we're working on.
Who do you fly to? Who do you fly? No, I know you. Oh, I didn't think you drove to Chicago to fly there.
Thanks for that.
I'm working on books
Frontier.
this morning.
Did you
and
just-
Josh is going to do the show.
much
How
is
you
it?
doing? Good.
60 bucks.
Okay, guys, we're up.
Beautiful as usual.
How much? Round trip. Yeah, okay. Thanks.
I so much love helping people. It all boils down to that. It's about helping people. And I just wish that I could have kept track of all of the people we've helped. And the reason I say that is not to brag, but to say that if you know people who need help, send them our way, whether they're a listener or not. In fact, we'd love for you all to be listeners to prevent the problems to begin with. This show is unlike anything else on radio. It is. That's why it's survived 6 ownership changes and years and years, the longest running radio show. First of all, in America with the same host that is currently on the air. And we have recovered hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. So we talk about a lot of stuff, and I urge you to get our podcast if you need to catch up on anything. And we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app, which is one of the most popular downloaded app in America. Also, what we love is our flagship, KHOW in Denver, and other affiliates. So I always start out by asking what's on your mind. Give us a call. But first, let's just find out here. What's on your mind? Mark, you were ready to say something else.
We got so much feedback over that Denver nuisance law yesterday. It was crazy, man.
And I'm going to post it separately, but it's on the podcast from yesterday.
What I'd really like you to do is condense it down to 1 minute on a video we'll shoot.
Okay.
And I'm going to send it out to everybody in Denver Metro via Facebook that we can. Let's make sure the residents know what their tax dollars are doing.
Now, if you need help with anything, 303-713-TALK. But if you're listening from around the country, it's just remember this number because it always works, 303-MARTINO, 24/7, 303-MARTINO, and leave your number. We have a very special guest today, Joan Sullivan, and we have two guests, one company, Approval Reverse Mortgage, Joan Sullivan, the owner and founder, and then Mary Jane Hall, who is her, I would say, chief, what do they call it, chief cook and bottle washer? I would say for sure. Mary Jane and Approval Reverse. Reverse loans are for those with equity. 62 or older, the older the better. And people say, well, should I get one or shouldn't I? And I say, let them figure it out because really, if it's not beneficial, they'll be the first ones to tell you. They really will. Plus, they counsel you about them and how to use them. And they're very effective instruments, either a lump sum monthly payments or you can just have a line of credit. So we'll be talking about that. If you have any questions, please call us on it. Laura, what's going on with you? Hi, Laura. Welcome to the show. You are the 1 millionth call. I'm just kidding. I figured, what's happening with you?
Hi.
Sounds frustrating. Uh-oh.
It's very frustrating. I finally bought my very first house.
Cool.
And it was.
Until?
However, I'd only been in there for 5 days.
Uh-oh.
Went down to my basement. It was flooded.
Oh, my God. Now, had the home been vacant before you bought it?
Yes.
For a period of time?
I was told for a year and a half.
Ah, okay. So, what caused the backup?
I have 8 breaks in my main sewer line.
8 of them? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Laura, what does the disclosure statement say about broken pipes or fixed pipes or backups or water problems of any kind? Now, disclosure statements, by the way, are not required, but if you do have them, they have to be truthful, or you could go after the person for lying or for fraud in the inducement or whatever. Laura, what did the disclosure statement, if you had one, what did it say about sewer or drains or anything like that?
It said absolutely nothing.
Well, what does that mean? It never brought it up, or did it say
that they didn't have any? What I interpreted it to be, because nothing was marked, that they had no issues, no problems.
Well, okay. I don't know what your disclosure statement looks like, so we'll have to draw our own conclusion by looking at it.
Okay, what it says, do you know of any of the following on the property? Water system, softener, that's the heaters and stuff.
Here's what.
So
don't worry about that, Laura. Don't worry about that.
Problem.
Don't worry about that, because here's the deal, Laura. Here's the deal, plain and simple, okay? If they knew of a problem and lied about it, they're in trouble. They don't have to tell you about a problem. If they knew about it but didn't tell you, that's fine, so long as they never lied about it. So that's tricky. Did they lie about it, or did they know? And so first of all, you know that these breaks didn't happen since you bought it, right? I mean, so
right.
It was there before you bought it. The bad news, Laura, the bad news is most real estate contracts would not cover that anyway. Had you had the inspection done as you should have, there are 3 inspections that are required on any home. This is what I would get. the minimal. Here are the three. First, just a regular general home inspection. Second, a sewer drain scoping, and that's separate. And then the third, if you have stucco, a separate stucco inspection. So, and then if there's any evidence of structural problems found by the first inspector, then you get a structural engineer. That's what I did when I bought mine. I got a general inspector. He said, Tom, we also offer a sewer scoping. I did that. Then after that, I got a foundation because he said there's some cracking we need to see. No, and then the stucco, I got a separate stucco inspection. Now Laura, you did inspect it, did you?
I had an inspection, but not a sewer or stucco inspection.
Okay. All right. Oh, do you have stucco on the house?
I do.
On her disclosure.
You saw it already?
Yeah, I'm staring at it.
All right, where is it? It's
in your email. There is no yes, if you will, by any of the sewer issues. So they're saying there is no issue.
They are well. Here's what it says.
It doesn't even say I don't know on this particular one.
No, it does. It says seller states that the information is correct to the seller's current actual knowledge as of this date. Any changes must be disclosed. So, who is the seller? Was it an individual that lived there, or is it an investor?
The seller was an investor who was also the agent.
But did the investor live there?
They claim not to have.
At the very bottom, listen to this. This is crazy.
If they didn't live there, how would they know?
Yeah, well, it gets worse. Listen to this. The listing agent is a licensed real estate agent in the state of Colorado and is also part owner. Seller never lived in the property. They made it very clear that they were never there at the bottom of the disclosure.
They did that because they oh, that sucks.
That's sneaky.
Now, here's the thing. Even if they should have known, it doesn't put a liability on them. I know that sounds crazy, but you buy real estate as is. So going through this doesn't matter. In other words, it doesn't matter if he knew about it. It doesn't matter if he lived there, because you would. Here's the bottom line. You would have to prove that these things. First, that he knew about it. Second, that he lied or covered it up.
It gets worse.
What?
It gets worse.
Because we're going to help, but in another way.
Advisory to buyer. Oh, you know where I'm going.
Go ahead.
The physical condition of the property, the presence of mold or biological hazards. Basically, it's saying, well, here, I'll quote it. Buyer should thoroughly inspect the property and obtain expert assistance to accurately and fully evaluate the property for the status of the items below. And it talks about virtually everything. They covered their ass. This isn't as good as the one we read that said, hey, you're buying a house. It probably is not a house, but it's pretty good.
One of the disclaimers Mark's referring to said, basically, you're just buying a bunch of stuff that was purchased, a bunch of building supplies that just happen to look like a house. And it may or may not be a house.
Hey, Laura, didn't you have the buyer tell your lawyer that they did have the sewer inspected?
My buyer.
Buyer?
Seller,
what buyer?
Her lawyer.
Buyer.
She's the buyer. She had her lawyer. She hired a lawyer.
I hired an attorney.
Yes.
The seller, when I first contacted my realtor, I thought it was a different problem. He contacted the seller. A week later, she made the comment that she had it scoped, is what she told my realtor.
It doesn't matter.
Right there, though, advisory to buyer in big, bold letters.
It doesn't matter. We are wasting time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they had it scoped or not. It doesn't matter if she lied to you on the phone after the sale, because it doesn't matter. What matters is, did they commit fraud in the inducement? Laura, no. I mean, it's a terrible, unfortunate situation, and you're going to spend more money with attorneys that you're never going to recoup because you won't get attorney's fees, and it's cheaper. It really is cheaper to fix it. It can't be that much to put in a sewer line. Sewer lines, they're expensive, but have you gotten a quote on it?
I did it for the outside portion. It's $15,000 to $20,000.
How far is it? They have to what? Go through the street?
They have to go 8 feet out the back of my house, 8 feet in from the alley, piece it together because it goes under my garage.
We'll give you a couple numbers off air to get second opinions on price.
Who did you get a price from, Laura?
Rootertown.
Yeah, well, okay. Who else?
That's it.
Okay.
They were the first ones I called out.
On those, you get at least 3. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of. I want our people to do it. But Laura, really and truly, I personally do not see you prevailing here, from a personal observation.
Even though she admitted that she had sewer problems to my attorney and she had it snaked, and her plumber admitted to doing work.
Laura, it wouldn't matter. Okay, I guess you're not hearing me. Here's what I said. It doesn't matter that she knew about it. It doesn't matter. What matters is, did she lie? Not after the sale, before the sale. Did she lie or make a material misrepresentation? The burden of proof. First of all, that conversation with the attorney, you're not going to bring into court because your attorney's not going to testify, and it's hearsay. You're not going to have, okay, let's say you can prove that she knew about it. Why do people think that's the issue? The issue is not knowing about it. The issue is lying about it. Lying. And I mean material lies and misrepresentations. I want to help you, but you're not telling me any lies before the sale. I think if it was me, if it was a sister of mine, an aunt, an uncle, my daughter, I'd say the same thing. Get some estimates to get it fixed. After you get it fixed, do you want to try to go after them? Okay, but you're going to run out of money if you do the fight first.
This report is sponsored by Westera Credit Union.
The highway drive in fairly normal shape. Westbound I-70 slow in the elevated portion. That's fairly normal. Westbound 270 approaching Vasquez, stop and go. That's fairly normal. Normal slowdowns downtown on northbound I-25 between Alameda and 6th, and coming out of the Tech Center a little difficult from Bellevue traveling up towards Yale. Still that crash being cleared on the toll road. Northbound E-470 north of 104th, still seeing some delays there. And off highway, Colorado Boulevard remains closed there between Mississippi and Louisiana for a water main break. The weather forecast could be a slight chance of afternoon storms today with a high near 80. Right now cloudy and 74. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Westera Credit Union believes everyone should have the information they need to manage their money. Westera was started by teachers 85 years ago, and they're still committed to helping people learn. Call Westera with your questions or attend a free seminar. Learn more at westeracu.com.
Let's talk about people who suffer from depression. Here's the bottom line. This is really important. If you have tried
on the referral list.
Excuse me. Let me just wait. If you suffered from depression and medicines have not worked and you've tried 3 medicines, do you know there's less than a 7% chance you're going to get any help from another medication? TMS Solutions is a magnetic pulse therapy. It is prescription based. And it is for those who are suffering from depression where medication has little or no effect. In some cases, people have successfully gone on to get just one medication and it works wonderfully, or gotten off of medications. You need to find out about this to recommend it to your doctor. It's prescription based, it's non-invasive. TMSsolutions.com. T as in Tom, M as in Martino, Tom Martino F, but it's TMSsolutions.com.
Looks like Santa Claus.
Mark, you were just flat out talking right out loud. Honest to God, just normal. I don't.
Santa Claus.
It is Santa Claus.
Who, that guy?
Yeah, he looks just like Santa Claus. That's a hard fucking sale, man.
I don't know, man.
That spot wasn't bad, though. Did you understand that spot at all?
Yeah, but he got interrupted.
Have you understood did you understand the first ones I did, med-resistant depression? I figured if people are in it, their doctors use that expression.
I think the simplicity is, if you're on an antidepressant right now, and you still don't feel good, this guy might be able to help.
I'm gonna write that.
Does he got a website?
Hold on. Let me write that down. I like that.
That's simplistic as shit.
I want to write that down.
That's for guys like Dan.
Okay, hold on now. Hold on.
Be careful, they'll take your gun.
Hold on. I don't know if it'll let me. Let me see if it'll let me. save.
Oh,
Okay,
ask her.
now.
Email Suzanne.
Okay, Mark. If you are suffering,
If you're suffering from depression and you're on antidepressants right now and you still feel like shit,
depression,
And you put that?
you're on
Santa Claus
medication,
may help you. I mean, that's just very simplistic.
you still, no, I like it, still don't feel good. Yes.
When you met with him, when he's on the air, is he Mr. Technical?
Yeah,
That's not going to be great.
he's so technical and so, you know, point of privilege, it might be one of those.
Point of privilege. Good job, comrade.
Okay, hold on, I like that one. Then there was something else they wanted me to say. He wanted me to say,
Oh,
three.
There's some quotes in there, yes. Did you get those too? Yeah, of course you did.
This is New Hope. I love it.
This guy blew up the software industry, man. Talk about taking a software product to market.
Who?
These Patriot Software.
Oh, yeah.
They do payroll. I mean, I can't believe where this guy brought that company. That's an advertising campaign. I bet easily 10 million first year. I'm forcing. We're going into beta this month, so we've got to decide how we want to do that.
Okay.
I've got one great idea.
Well, I want to go through and get the questions completed. I'm not done yet. I got to go through and add some qualifiers for subtracting.
Well, when do you want to sit down?
Mark, I'll do it any afternoon you want, seriously.
So this real estate
And
instructor.
you can do it, or I'll just do it, you know, if I want. But if you want to go through it, let's do it, and then get me started at least.
Let's go through.
I need Mike to help me the copy and paste functions and all the other stuff. He needs to
Let me
tell
ask him if that's
what day.
Let's do it today.
Real estate instructor call.
I can't. And
That's
tomorrow
fine.
I get my kids.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. You're a troubleshooter. You know, Mark brought up something good about that last commercial I did about, because I'm very passionate about depression and about what it does to families and people. And he said, here's what he said basically. It's this simple. If you're suffering from depression and you're on medication and you still don't feel good, this could help you. It's clinically proven to help get more out of medication, you see. So some people, they're still on medication, but this makes it effective. And this is not a lifetime treatment. This is, you know, 1 or 2 treatments. That's what I love about it. The other part is that some people, it's rare, but some people have gotten off meds altogether if you're just mildly depressed. This is a great treatment. I don't know how they discovered it, but it's a giant magnet, and it puts a pulse into your brain, and it sounds like, oh, my God, you don't feel it. I mean, it's basically like if you're in an MRI, you never feel that, right?
I'll tell you what's incredible that you told me when you went and visited and checked out the clinic. He would do something to you.
He could make my arm move.
He'd say, hey, I'll move your elbow. I'll move this. I'll move that. And boom, it just
because your brain moves everything, right? But I don't want people to be afraid of it. It's tmssolutions.com. So we're going to investigate the Laura thing if there was a misrepresentation. But now, let's go one step further. Even if they knew about it and they lied about it, here's the terrible thing. It almost costs more than it's worth to go after. You don't get attorney's fees. You see, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way that people can fight injustice other than this show. I mean, we'll help Laura. You know, if we can see a misrepresentation, we'll talk to the seller. But there's got to be a way that people can go after without spending all this money, because it becomes financially unfeasible, or whatever the word is I want. What were you going to say?
Tom, so we had a real estate instructor call in, and she said that they, yes, you're correct, that the disclosure, you know, they can fill it out or not. She said, but if they knew, they have to disclose it.
Well,
and she also,
I disagree.
She said also that real estate lawyers love cases like this.
Yeah, because it runs up fees. I mean, not because they win. So, Daphne, now I could be corrected here, but I do not believe if you know, you must disclose. You can't lie about it on a disclosure statement. If it says, do you know of any, now or before or ever, they have to answer honestly. If there's no disclosure, I want that real estate instructor to tell me that I am obligated to say it. I don't see anywhere. I want to see the code where material defects must be disclosed. I wish it was that way. But I don't think so. Again, this is a soft I disagree, not a hard I disagree. Because as long as I've been associated, I don't remember it being a requirement. 303-713-TALK. However, you still have to prove a misrepresentation.
You know, they actually, in this disclosure one more time, under the advisory to the buyer, they actually try to define what current actual knowledge is. So I'm telling you, this is a good disclosure.
I think signing that disclosure gets you out of that a lot of stuff. Now, Joan Sullivan, ApprovalReverse.com. Mary Jane Hall, ApprovalReverse.com. I think a problem with reverse loans are people heard, oh, they changed. They're much harder to get or this or that, and they're really not. And I think they stop calling. They should at least call. Don't you go over that very first thing? Isn't that what you do?
Absolutely.
It's a pre-qualification. I mean, you can tell in how many minutes on the phone if someone is eligible.
Within 5.
Yeah. So it's a 5-minute phone call to find out if you are eligible. And that's 303-771-3528. We'll talk more about it. But someone wanted to know, how long does it take? 5 minutes or less. I mean, now, if you lie and say, oh, I got great credit, and you don't. Now, they do check credit, right?
Yes, we do have to check credit now.
Okay.
So.
Mark, what were you going to say?
Well, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but listen to just tell me what you think about
No, I
this
like you looking at that disclosure.
So
I can't do it.
They want to redefine current actual knowledge, which is what all the questions say, okay? And it is intended to limit the seller's disclosure only to facts actually known by the seller and does not include constructive knowledge or common knowledge. What the hell? I mean, they're basically saying, if we don't know exactly what is wrong, we're not going to report it. That's how I read that.
303-713-TALK. Okay, Denny, speaking of real estate, and I should mention Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Now, Frank, I'm not going to say this wouldn't happen to Frank. I mean, people can lie or hold things back, but Frank makes sure that you get everything you need done. Like he instructed me, Tom, get this and get this. And it's just like someone holding your hand. And if you think about it, he's been through thousands of these. So he knows where the pitfalls come. And his number is 303-920-1622, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Denny, now your earnest money you want back. Can you explain what's going on in this real estate deal you have?
Yes. We had a contract with a couple about 2 weeks ago, and they came back and terminated the contract.
Now, this is a contract on your end to buy or to sell?
We are selling our home.
Okay, you're selling your home, and they came back and said, we no longer want to do it.
Right. They gave us a contract, and we had a counter proposal, and then we both agreed on the contract.
And they signed. Everything's signed, sealed, and delivered, right?
That's correct.
Contract signed, and then they backed out. How long after the final?
They backed out about a week later.
Now, most of the time, they're allowed to back out for almost anything. Now, sometimes they don't have a technical reason to back out at the time, and people think like, oh, well, you don't really have a reason, and all they have to do is wait, and then something will come up where they have other outs, usually, if it's written properly. Hold on, and we're going to see if you should keep, or if you're inclined to keep that earnest money. Maybe we can get the opinion of some experts. I got to talk to her about getting Frank Duran. Daphne, I need your attention when you have a chance. When you have
This report is sponsored by your local Ford store.
No, it's infeasible,
Make sure
not
you keep this in
unfeasible.
your bag too.
Well, it's been a
I'll do
while
your
since
notes
I've
just like
qualified
you're doing.
anybody.
This
Sometimes
is what
it
I
takes
would
more than mine. But, you know, basically.
Oh, yeah, pretty, I mean, if they have an outstanding
So this is what I
mortgage,
do, right?
if
I
they
always
don't,
shut
they're
these up, so
eligible.
tomorrow I'll be Frank Duran first.
Yeah, I mean, unless they haven't paid their taxes and insurance.
Yeah, then
Put them in a lease, that's what
But
I
they're
do.
each a half hour.
Put them in a lease.
Yeah.
They're
45
half
minutes.
hour, or you could just do it 45.
Whatever,
I do it half hour.
Then you
One
back
call, the call that came through when we were coming back, and Shelley called the guy, and he lives in an unapproved condo project.
Yeah, these
But
you
he
just do
still
45.
couldn't understand why he couldn't borrow more money than what she calculated for him, that if it was cheap, he just couldn't understand why he couldn't get one like that every now and then. So my seminars are this week, so I think, so I have 8 so far coming for the one
Okay,
this
guys.
Saturday.
Let's talk about property trauma. We're talking fire, flood, storm, mold, chemical imbalance, you know, where you have your air's polluted, or toxins, asbestos, meth, lead. All of these things fall under the category of what's called, it's just trauma, property trauma. This is where people usually rip off people. I recommend this company. You will love them for any kind of restoration. American Restoration, okay? It is American Restoration 24/7, 833-7 AM-REST. I got lost there.
What do you mean?
No, I just got over. I'm trying the best I can.
You also receive some of the lowest rates in the industry. If you're already in a mortgage, no problem. You can refinance any existing mortgage into a VA loan, and you can even access 100% of your home's value. Meaning a lot.
So Dano, did you read the rest of the that disclosure?
I read, like I say, just the thing that it did. She needs to give a 10-day demand letter and go to small claims.
Yeah. I want to get Frank on, but please tell
Only if she's got something.
tell Frank to please.
You got to get with the plumber who did
You know, I just need not his opinion, but how the real estate laws read for these kinds of things. Okay, he tends to give his opinion or what he thinks is right. I need to know what is the strict, like, you know, can they get away with it type thing. Not that I would recommend it.
Even in a small claim.
Well, you don't have to do anything, but the judges.
Is there a problem, Jack? You're looking like
So just
okay.
writing the thing out there and having no right and everything's not good enough for small claims. You got to have a person.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out.
You can't just say, here,
We're gonna find out.
because then the other side's, they'll take it, but it'll have no credence whatsoever.
See, I didn't think they would cross-examine small claims.
No, the judge can ask the guy questions.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, county court, as you know. I sued that hospital yesterday. Oh, can you serve them after work?
Yeah.
This is
Before you
great.
go out of town?
You know, we often talk about
Where are
following
they at?
stuff.
What?
Where's it at?
It's that one in Littleton. You've been there before.
Oh, yeah, is it the one?
Actually, I think it's Centennial. I mean, it's like right here, I guess. It's the corporation.
It's around Arapahoe.
Yeah, Arapahoe.
Yeah.
Where is it? Whereabouts is it?
It's like about
By the mall?
it's 2 blocks down. So you go down to Arapahoe and go back 2 blocks to the left on the right.
This will be an interesting one, man. Now we're really getting into very interesting shit.
Aren't you all almost at the limit? Is it, how many can you do?
No, because a lot of mine are either TSN, Suzanne, or Brenda, and then mine, no. If I was, yes.
Is it 6 in a year?
No, it's like 12 in a year. What would kill me is the two in a month. But it's never happened. You realize I'm like 6 for 6 or 7 for 7
On what, Mark?
on these claims.
Good
So
stuff.
Ricky said,
Crazy, isn't it?
did you
I
and
like
Mark call each other this morning to see what you're going to wear?
Yeah, we do that.
I know.
Or we sometimes.
I told Tom I'm wearing red.
I'd be bored.
I don't call this. Well, it kind of is red, but isn't it more of an orange?
No, that's red.
Is this?
More orange.
No way! What color is his shirt? Okay. No, okay. Is mine orange?
red. They're going for red.
Here's a red.
No way!
This is red.
Okay, anybody listening
Tom
online,
is a faded red.
is his orange, is Tom's shirt orange?
No.
Anybody online?
Red.
Oh my, Dan, what color?
Okay, it is, but is it like orangey red more than red red?
Daphne,
Red.
hey,
It's
you
not
guys,
cherry.
what color is
It's not
his
cherry
shirt?
red or fire engine red.
Red. Both of them said red.
I think it's orangey red. Just a little hint.
It's an orange red.
I'm with you.
I am Tom Martino,
I'm with
your
you.
troubleshooter. Let's talk, really. Now, I want to get Frank Duran, the real estate man, on to weigh in on some of this, okay? But we have a follow-up, so who should I talk to? What is this follow-up, Justina? What is this about, Daphne? Do you know?
I am not sure.
Okay, I'll just ask her then. Justina, what follow-up is this? Just refresh and I'll remember. What is going on?
This is a follow-up, Mr. Martino, from Miss Patricia Lemieux. She called you last year. I don't know if you remember. It was about the decking, Kelly Bamboo deck. She was unhappy with the product. They want to give her a full refund. And she was trying to obtain your help to get a refund because I could not win her full refund on a BC fan's behalf. The case went to court. She's decided to sue me for damages, trouble damages. The case is finally over. But what is very interesting is that
Justina.
he used.
So hold on, your phone's cutting in and out, so I'll make sure I have this straight now. You are the owner of the fence company, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. That's
okay,
correct.
and BC Fence is your company, and the owner was upset originally about what?
She was unhappy about the product.
Okay, and how did you stand? How did you stand on that originally? Did we call you to help get a refund, or did we try?
Yes. You called me at the time, but I could not talk about it because it was a potential lawsuit against me. So I could not speak in this matter.
Do you
Because
remember?
it's not a very good
Do
time.
you remember? Did you feel like we were on her side or your side? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember because I actually listened her recording from July 25th, 2018. You even specifically told her that the company did not took the money from her. We did a job. She was unhappy.
Okay.
So she needs to go after Kelly Bamboo, not after a BC fence.
Because you're talking about the material, not you. If
Yes.
she didn't like the material, that's tough. You installed it
Yes.
properly. Now, did she buy the material through you?
Yes.
Were you unhappy with the product, or did you think she was exaggerating?
Well, we have some questions about the material, but Kelly Bamboo was very generous. They said if she's unhappy with a couple of the boards, they were willing to exchange them in almost half of the boards. And she was very specific. She's not going to use Kelly Bamboo anymore. I think the problem here is, and that's what occurred during the court yesterday, she just made the wrong decision. And guess what she ended up picking up on her final deck? Not a Kelly Bamboo. It's not baby blue gray. It's a totally different color, totally different composite. And now my company lost in a courthouse yesterday using even your persona.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Why did the judge rule against you?
Because I am an owner of the company, and even if you have an LLC, you're so personally reliable, responsible for what's going on. I have a judgment of $44,000 as a small owner business.
Wait a minute,
And
Justina.
people
Justina,
said,
hold
yeah.
on. Hold on a second. I'm not going to get into the legalities, but there's no way they could get a personal judgment against you. Did they go to county court?
I have.
District court. Justina, like I said, I'm not going to get into why. There must have been some flaw on the transaction that pierced the LLC. But right now, this is what I want to know about. Was this had to have been in district court because you have a $44,000?
Yes.
Okay, so they were obviously represented by an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you?
Correct.
Were you?
I am a lawyer, but I cannot represent myself, so I have also a legal team with myself, too.
So you had an attorney in court with you?
Yes.
I don't understand, and again, I really appreciate you coming on to talk about this, but I don't understand if you installed a fence and she wanted a complete refund. I don't even how much of that is for the refund? Is it all just the refund?
Well, the problem was we installed the deck. We tell her, so there was a surface deck we're a surface. We're not even touching a structure of the
But
desk. We have to
Justina, what I need to know is that $44,000 judgment against you, was that for product and labor?
It's a trouble damages for her not be able to enjoy her deck.
Oh my God, she got triple damn. I don't even understand this. I've never heard of such a thing. Now, really, but there must have been a reason. I wasn't there, but the judge must have found that you were egregious, because to order treble damages, that says something. That the judge was pissed off.
Was it a jury or a judge?
Jury, 7 jurors found me absolutely responsible for all this mess.
Hold on. If you
produce-
had jurors, they must have presented a good case.
They had good lawyers.
Well, no,
don't know.
Justina, it is possible you were wrong. I don't know every detail of this case, and obviously I'm just hearing it from your side. But perhaps they found that you did they say you should have redone the whole thing? And what I don't understand is she ended up with a completely different product. How can that be your fault?
Yes, that's correct.
We're not hearing everything.
Well, she ended up picking up the most expensive product, which is a Trek, and now her deck is not baby blue like
I
she
understand. We know that. She changed her mind. You're telling me she made a wrong choice and she took it out on you. I hear that. Justina, now for some advice, not legal advice, but you do understand that if it's not a fraud judgment for fraud, if it's, and I don't think it is, if it's a civil judgment, a bankruptcy will get rid of it.
Be honest with you, Mr. Martino, I have a better idea how to resolve this issue, but I cannot disclose it right now.
Oh,
but if
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. A better way that you don't want to disclose, I hope it has nothing to do with, you know, something violent. What do you mean?
No, everything is legally done.
I would love to know your strategy on this. If you would be so kind as to email us or tell Daphne, I won't disclose it, but what I want to know is, do you think you will be successful in attacking this?
Yes, absolutely, because my point here is I want to make sure that every single LLC contractor is being protected in some kind of way. I'm not saying we have a good, bad, or dishonest contractors, but we as a contractor, we should not be never liable.
I don't know. Listen, I'm not hearing something, Justina, because the laws are the laws. It is a limited liability company. Now, here's what I want to make clear, Justina. Listen carefully. Just because you have personal liability on this judgment, I do not want to send a message to everyone saying that all LLCs are going to hold the owners responsible. That's simply not true. There is something that got screwed up in your transaction. I would love to see the court transcript or the judgment order or something. I'd like to look through this case because it's a very interesting case. I'd also like to talk to the other parties concerned, like your attorney and maybe their attorney. Listen, Daph, get as much information as you can so we can get to the bottom of this. But again, there's nothing we can do about it, but it is very interesting. And her message today is she wants to get the word out to LLCs. Okay, fine. Get the word out that you better have annual meetings, you better have minutes, you better have the real deal for an LLC. Don't just call it an LLC and think everything's hunky-dory.
I bet it's a bigger issue. Like they made the check out to her or something.
Mark, even when you sign contracts, you sign it as
CEO,
so-and-so.
president, whatever.
Whatever. You don't sign it as even an owner. You sign it as a member or whatever of an LLC you sell, and it's for the LLC.
Very interesting. Isn't that interesting?
No, but if I ever need them, I can get
You're
them.
protected personally.
I'm saying if I ever need them, I go into my file cabinet and get them.
How do you think she screwed up so royally?
Somewhere, something.
Very well could have been the check.
We don't know something.
Yeah, but we've had calls before that have gone to court, and they do not hold the individual liable in small claims court, even though they made the check to themselves and not the LLC.
So-
There's something really strange on this one.
She was going after everything. She was going after, like, say, travel, non-enjoyment of the deck.
Yeah,
She was going after
44,000.
everything.
I wonder if she showed up. I mean, oh no, she said she had attorneys. Yeah, of course she did.
Wow. And the jurors agreed something is missing.
Well, I think, you know, really what it came down to with the jury system is...
Hold on, guys, I'm on.
They had better attorneys. Look at all
CrackerjackMudjacking.com. You got to remember that. If ever you're faced with a concrete repair, check with them first, no matter what it is. Cracks, heaving, sinking, no matter what it is. Mudjacking could be your solution. They saved me $12,000. I was looking at like getting the entire thing replaced. They came in for $1,500 and did the job beautifully. 303-410-7787, 410-7787, free estimates.
What's the name of the actual company?
And there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen.
Did she say BC Fans? I remember this one.
I tried BC Fence, BC Debt. I can't find anything in the Secretary of State's website on anything similar.
This is really strange.
She's leaving something out.
Zoom is how business gets done.
I like how she is a lawyer, but she can't do this one. I didn't understand that one either.
Now, I'm going to see how successful I
Here
can
it is,
be.
BC Dex. But there is nothing in the Colorado Secretary of State. Maybe she simply didn't have an LLC. But being an attorney, you would think she knows some real basic stuff.
Keep your engine running like new.
There's nothing.
Power Nitro Plus premium gas.
I can't remember. This was a while back. This wasn't a year back. This was probably 6 months back. Or
Which one?
Being accused of a crime can ruin your life. Get help.
That's why she got tripled down. Now, how was I mentioned?
He's offering a free
How did she get?
and up to $500 off his services. 303-429-6200. That's 429.
That's
So what's the gig?
Finding great candidates to hire can be like
open up.
trying to find a needle in a
What was the trouble for?
I didn't see anything.
Oh.
I was kidding. She said I was discussed in the lawsuit.
ZipRecruiter for free.
Oh.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on
So what does that mean?
Nothing. She
Who
just wanted.
cares?
Its powerful technology identifies people.
What was the
I
trouble
don't remember
damages?
this call because I didn't talk to her. Huh?
What was the trouble damages?
Qualified candidates vast. So while
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you just said the DAP. That's why the trouble damages.
Joking
Oh.
that she mentioned my name.
Got it. Okay, that is a little funny. Not really, but yeah. No,
I think it's like.
that was
See
freaky.
that? That would freak me out.
What?
That spider.
Oh man, I had a
Look at
friend.
it, John.
I had a friend Larry had a tarantula like that. He videotaped it crawling into his mouth and turned around and came out. He sent it to David Letterman or whoever did Crazy Pet Tricks, and they were going to have him on, but it never.
He's dead.
He never got there.
I guess.
Well, actually, he is dead, but not from the spider bite.
I was.
It was a gross. I've seen him do it 100 times. It was
Who was
so
it?
disgusting. His name was Larry Jones.
Not Werner.
No.
I was in my greenhouse just repotting a plant.
Erner. He
Oh,
died.
Erner. I'm sorry.
He died pretty fucking young, man. Diabetes took his legs. He did not take care of himself, man.
Why don't people do this?
Blood sugar took his legs.
Tried to get him back in there.
I just don't understand why people don't take care of themselves like that. Their teeth, their mouth, everything.
Yeah, he was okay there.
It's
He
so
just
simple.
he drank too much. Although I think he pretty much. I won't say he gave up alcohol. I don't think he drank. See, you know, this is the kind of guy for a while I'd see a lot because we own some businesses together. But then after he lost his legs and stuff, I'd see him maybe once every 3 months. The saddest thing I saw, though, man, was I got there about an hour after he died, and he was in this room at University Hospital or Denver. The hospital was shit. I mean, it was shit. He was in a room with 4 people that were all like on their deathbed but not dead, and he was just in this one bed, like a room this size. He was just in this one bed, dead, man. It was fucking, God.
Dead as that.
It's dead, bro.
I just watched Pulp Fiction the other night.
I want a private room when I'm dead.
Who's dead?
I couldn't believe it. It's so weird. I'm just sitting there looking at him going, God.
The real estate man.
He looked horrible too, man. He looked like, before he died, he's only been dead an hour, so it's got nothing to do with death. But he was bloated to the point where it was so bizarre. I wonder if is that all organ failure and you bloat? I don't know. But he was like, his head was this big.
They probably
My
didn't
dad
do
didn't
anything
blow.
for him.
My grandmother didn't either. She was a stick.
Yeah.
It's true, that actually is moving. You're bending,
rubber.
You're bending the molecules that make up that pet.
Sometimes it gets so weird.
See what has happened since mushrooms have
it can
become legal. Tom has a sack of mushrooms in his pocket.
Anything to do with the Denver nuisance law?
Yeah.
You're becoming a nuisance.
You just said he lost his legs and stuff. So you use and stuff.
Stuff. Does that go further?
I'm Tom Martino. I'm going to get to your calls. Frank Duran, the real estate man, is on. I'm going to ask him about this case we're talking about. Frank, I just need some simple, and I want to make people clear that you're my expert. You had nothing to do with this transaction, and I'm not asking for your personal opinion. I am, but not right now. Right now I want to know, are disclosure statements required in a real estate transaction?
They are not, Tom. In fact, the seller, when they list a home, they have a right to check a box, either agrees or does not agree, to fill out the seller's property disclosure. With that being said, disclosure of known, material, latent, not obvious defects is required by law.
Okay, so that has changed. Now, tell me, what does that mean? Because that's the important thing. Somebody called up, and I said I softly disagree, meaning I wasn't sure. But
what they're talking about,
what do they mean?
When they mean latent, they mean present, not visible. So anything like that, hypothetically, let's say that you knew you had water intrusion.
Let's talk about this case. Let's say that you, even though you don't have a disclosure statement, or you do, doesn't matter. As you said, they're not required. If I had problems with my sewer line, and I had it snaked, and they told me I have 6 breaks in it, okay, now I go to sell my place, and I don't mention a word, so tell me, is that considered something I should disclose?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we can prove that they knew about it, or she can, then she would have a non-disclosure case.
Very possibly, Tom. I mean, that would be something that you cannot see with the eyes, and you would have no idea of knowing unless that was checked out or the seller had previous knowledge.
But here's the deal. How do you prove they knew? And again, this is for an attorney, not for you. But, Frank, there's some additional wording. And the reason I'm asking Frank is in the Colorado statute, it actually says that real estate brokers have a limited practice of law regarding real estate transactions. So what I want to know, this disclaimer goes on to say that basically, can you get around it? Disclaimers is what I'm asking. Have you seen disclaimers be thrown out?
Boy, that's muddy waters, Tom. That is really muddy waters. And something like that, could be fought out in court. I mean, I don't think there's any clear-cut laws that could really give us a clear answer to.
Do you know of disclosures? Do you know of cases where people did not disclose, where the deal was undone?
Yeah, we had one. Memory serves me. I had one in North Glen one time where I guess the kitchen countertop had caught on fire, and he tried to cover it up. So yeah, I don't see that very often, but yes, I have seen that.
We had one with water damage one time. The unit next door, they were townhomes.
Now I did not forget about Denny either. Denny, I know you're on there about your selling, and that's why I had Frank come on. So Denny is up. Denny, we don't have a lot of time, but the buyers backed out a week after signing the final offer that you guys all agreed on. Now, Frank, he wants to keep, well, let's just get right down to it. If he can, he wants to keep the earnest money. Now, what is it? I understand, Frank, it's near impossible to do that because you have so many outs in a normal contract. Yes or no?
That is correct, Tom. The buyer, there's a lot of in buyer's sole subjective discretion that happens throughout the contract. They have so many outs. The last one is typically going to be the loan termination deadline, which doesn't even happen until the very end.
What does that mean, actually?
What that means is, so the buyer, in their sole subjective discretion, if they don't have a satisfactory loan, they can actually just say, my sole subjective discretion, I terminate.
I don't like the loan.
Yeah, but the contract could be written a different way, right?
Right, of course. Now,
sure, you could add stipulations as long as everybody agrees.
Denny, did their real estate person say, as written in clause so and so or paragraph such and such, we exercise our right to terminate? Anything like that?
They terminated on unsatisfactory to the buyer and checked property or inclusion inspection.
Oh, did they have an inspection?
No.
They don't have to have a professional one. So they're saying that they looked at it and didn't like it. Frank, I think he'd have an uphill battle. Again, I was wrong about the disclosure thing. I didn't know you had to disclose material defects. So has anything changed regarding keeping earnest money, or is it still very difficult?
Oh, it's very difficult, Tom. In fact, the buyer doesn't even technically have to do an inspection. They could still terminate based on their own.
No, that's what I mean. They don't like it. They inspected it, and they don't like it. See, Denny, I think you're screwed. But why would you care in this real estate market? Go ahead.
We've had it up for sale for a month and a half, and they did add a provision at the end, additional provisions about buying the house as is.
But what does that have to do with anything? It's as is. They see it, but they still can say, yeah, it's as is, meaning as you are selling it. But now we further looked at it, and we don't like it. We don't. They have a right to do that if it's in the contract.
But they did.
Go ahead, Frank.
It also says they will take it as is and will conduct an inspection of the property, but will only ask for items that are safety, health, or mechanical systems issues.
I know what you're saying, but they're saying that.
Do that.
Go ahead, Frank.
They may still have reserved their right to terminate, though, Tom. A lot of buyers put that language in contracts.
We need you to send along the contract, but here's the easy message, Denny. How much money is it?
$10,000.
Okay, there's an easy way around this that they can do, and there's something you can do. So hold on, and we'll talk about it coming up. There is an easy thing rather than going to court.
With the lowest fee in the industry.
It's a week. They've had it off the market a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they want to keep the.
We can keep
they
them
wasted
or
their
call them
time.
back.
It's a week.
I know, but they still wasted their time.
In this real estate market?
No, I'm not disagreeing, but
I don't understand why he's so hell-bent on keeping it. I agree with you.
I don't know what earnest money's all about. Why even?
That was his main question.
Why even have earnest money?
Well, but Tom, you bought your house. Your earnest money was actually there saying.
I wrote something saying it is hard, non-refundable.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Not only that, I said you can keep I did $100,000. You can keep my $100,000.
But that's because I wanted.
You got 30
I wanted
days.
to go in and start doing shit to
So
it.
that's how you have to.
Oh, yeah. If
I wanted to go in before closing, so I put $150 hard.
Yeah, I mean,
no refunds, as is.
Yeah, yeah.
But even if I backed out, then he gets, he would have the improvements and the money.
Right. Yeah. And then if you left it unimproved,
So that's how you're going to have them write it up.
A normal one, he's trying to say, Mark, because it was as is, he's trying to say, they don't get to say, I'm displeased with it.
Well, in the agreement, though, if it's a standard agreement, of course they do.
He said, I don't want it because there's no garage.
So
the
realtor should have really wrote it up.
There's no garages on
Well,
who writes up buyer or seller?
If they're using generic, they're going to be the same.
Yeah.
But you could modify it. So who would modify it?
Both realtors would have to agree to the modification.
And then they had
if
another
they're
buyer
good
that had the
realtors.
pre-approval.
The one
made
that-
sure that they had been pre-approved. And she said, I'm a scientist and the radon does not, I want the radon to be -0. The radon company said she's extreme. There is no way we can do it. The EPA regulation is 4.8, and they said the lowest it'll be would be 2.7. She said, I'm a scientist. And
She sounds like underdog.
I said, well, then go find another house because we're not going to be able to meet your requirements.
She played
So
underdog.
she walked away. I mean, they can tell you.
Underdog
So
later,
we
underdog
wasted
had
all
to
of that time. Yeah. Oh,
Underdog
people are
lady.
terrible.
Underdog later?
Yeah.
So
She's the one that did
we've
underdog.
had 4 contracts.
Look, up in the
And that
sky.
house has been on the market
I'm
since last
underdog.
October. Oh, show
Didn't you ever watch that cartoon?
I watched Underdog. He had a girlfriend. That's all.
I'm almost sure a woman.
And, really,
Look.
who
Who did
I mean, why doesn't the realtor
voice?
know there's no garage? Why did
Underdog?
they take them there? Yeah, why did they take them there?
I mean,
If they
I've
don't- if that isn't what they're
been
looking
wrong
for?
about
They
being
waste so
wrong.
much time. And what they do to the houses was terrible what they do.
Now your son's not living there now.
No, now they've
Actor
already
Wally
moved to the new
Cox.
house.
No, that's definitely
And
not
now
a female.
they're doing,
Let me see.
and that house already had a radon
Let me see. Who is under?
system
She
in
said,
it.
"Who is
And so we
underdog?"
had to pull all the drywall out, and the radon company's there today, because either the fan isn't working properly.
Yeah, this is her right
You have to
here.
expose all the pipes.
Suzanne, underdog lady.
Ridiculous.
Horror
I
King.
mean,
Okay,
it's
here
supposed
it
to
is.
close next Tuesday. I just hope it all
She's
goes
a
through.
nut.
Yeah, because now you're spending all the time.
She was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Of course, Howard Stern's where I heard her.
Oh, really?
Actress, here we go.
House, they have to pay me back because I put the money down.
Underdog lady.
Yeah, ridiculous.
The Howard Stern show.
And it's
She's crazy,
I
man.
mean,
She's
the
like literally.
location is, yeah,
Oh yeah, here it is.
I mean, it's 2 minutes from there.
Diagnosed with
It's
Asperger's
wonderful
syndrome, who does her performance
So the
art version of the cartoon character Underdog.
Even in my neighborhood,
does so.
this house is on the market. for
Here's
over
what
a
she's
month.
big at.
Usually they sell
And I'm not
the
kidding,
day
it's
the
real.
sign goes up.
She goes to parades all around the country and does some weird dance and tries to win the trophies if they have some kind of contest. But she's an
So
absolute.
Anna will like that.
She's a nut. He didn't have her on for the news.
Oh, yeah, that would be, she should.
She was.
For her talent.
She wants to
Have her on for her
she should
talent.
look for it.
Here, you want to see what she does? And she makes her own costumes.
This year or something like
Yeah,
that.
that sounds
I said, well,
Doesn't even look
so
like it.
make sure you look at what the HOA
She is so,
Looks like she's got a handkerchief on the back.
Needs a lot more than the payment.
Yeah.
Of course, video
Yeah.
ever. There's no
So
video.
this one that, our clients,
Underdog, here let's see what she did on Jimmy Fallon. Underdog lady.
Who's underdog?
Jimmy Fallon. He
The lady
was
goes around the fairs and dresses up as
you
underdog.
know, the phase will.
Jimmy
Right.
Kimmel.
You know, I've
How we got into this, I have no
And it's a
idea.
brand new
because
subdivision.
Brand new, yeah.
Warren,
But they,
Elizabeth Warren
but
sounds
they
like
are gonna have
right?
the FHA, yeah, they have to do that right up front.
Yeah, yeah. So the rest of the phases that are
Same one.
Yeah.
This is the shittiest.
Realtron.
God, it's sad. Why would anybody even do a YouTube? It's not a video. Here we go. Let's see if this is it.
Right.
Ah!
And it's,
You're killing me.
so later she decides to do.
Oh my God, this is so stupid.
Then, you know,
I gotta find a video of Underdog.
Fix it 24/7. Our licensed plumbers and HVAC.
Who will go where she's at Howard Stern?
Background
I don't know why it's not bringing up the Fallon
in your
episode.
home for just $39 to
This is her.
any problem you have. You know
Remember it.
Changes into underdog lady.
She does all kinds of.
complete honest estimate of
She's very talented.
She's a nut.
if you have the work done.
You should
all
hear
right?
her. She's a
Really, who's all right?
Underdog lady. Come on, keep up.
You don't find her to be.
She's a complete nut.
She's very talented, just like Elizabeth Warren.
As their own. You won't find better services for better.
Bullshit!
So if you have any
Bullshit, Brad!
give them a call. 720-526-3939.
What are you talking about?
Ban him! Ban him from Facebook!
Who? What did he say?
He said your shirt's orange, but he's just busting my balls. Everybody else knows it's red.
It's orangey. I didn't say it's orange.
My orange cat's name is Orangey.
Let me guess, because one of your kids
Frank stayed on through the commercial.
named it.
Actually, I did.
Frank stayed on.
So I guess one of Suzanne's kids named it, as she would say. You remember my first Doberman's name, right?
Dobie.
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 Mine was too.
You named your Dobie Dobie?
Dobie.
No kidding?
Most unimaginative.
My second Doberman
He was so
is
cute.
Bella.
What did Foxy do when she saw you?
Oh,
First
she
dog
just
and
had a
he
bed.
gave the dog.
She didn't
Hey,
play
I like-
with
I
anybody,
like
but she's
human
just
names
licking
for
me and
dogs.
following me everywhere.
I think like Carrot.
Where have you been?
Because then when you're in a dog park, you're going, hey, Eric, get over here.
Some
Eric."
names fit dogs,
Yeah,
some
they
human
both
names
did.
better than
Well,
others.
that Molly
Like,
did go to
you know, like
Bowden's.
Bruce
She spent one
or
day
Ralph
with some
or
people in
certain
Bowden.
ones. Thank you, dear.
Oh, you have a wife.
No, no, I like it. I want it cold.
And you told me you had to take the wheel somewhere.
Yeah, I would love it.
And Frank stayed on
I
through
could
the
throw a
commercial.
tennis ball high like in the air.
He said no worries.
I would tell him to go like this.
I told her,
He'd start running.
tell him to get a room right here so is sick. Yeah, and Aileen had to take her back the next day to run.
What kind of dog?
I think.
Yeah, she's just not.
Yeah.
We had a little Shih Tzu that could do the roof.
She thought she was, oh yeah, she really thought she was going to get
I'm Tom Martino, your consumer troubleshooter, your advocate trying to help you any way I can. Sometimes it's not agreeing with you, but still helping, if that makes sense. We do so much over the last 40 years, coming up on 40 more if you count outside of Denver, and I just love helping when I can. The thing about earnest money, it's going to be a little difficult, but I do have some suggestions for the seller who wants to keep the earnest money. He feels like they screwed around with him. We have approval reverse mortgage on. They do reverse loans. The only ones I really recommend for that, approvalreverse.com. We had some emails on that as well, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that again. I have some other questions that can't come in. Now, I am talking about earnest money because it comes up a lot. Now, in this market, I don't think you should worry too much. You should be able to sell a house, and if you're not getting results, I'd go with Frank Duran, the real estate man. That's just the way I do it. Frank Duran, the real estate man, is on right now to talk about this case. He's not involved in this case. And Frank, I think Denny's hang-up, and I'll let him talk. I'm going to bring him up right now. I think Denny's hang-up is he went through the pangs of taking this price because they said it probably was lower than he wanted, but they said, hey, man, we're not going to be a pain in the ass. We're going to take it as is, and we're only going to bitch about serious stuff. Is that what you were thinking, Denny, going in, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So you probably took lower than you really wanted because you didn't want to screw around. And you thought these guys seemed trouble-free. So that you finally get all this in writing and read that one spot about as is. What does it say again?
It says the buyer will buy the property as is in condition and conduct an inspection of the property, but will only ask for items that are health, safety, or major mechanical systems of the house. It will not encompass any cosmetic items or minor repairs.
Okay. If they said the feng shui was off and it affected their mental health, they would be within their rights. That's how crazy the laws are for people buying. Now, Frank, so the termination, what did they cite in the termination, Denny?
They cited that...
Read it.
Okay, they said if it helps, there's an inspection reason they did not terminate. They did terminate the contract in the buyer's, in quote, subjective discretion. The home was not suitable for the combined needs of the buyers.
Okay.
The master bedroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
the master bedroom was too small.
Now, you think that's in conflict with the other statement?
Well, absolutely. They were at this house 3 times.
Okay. So they're not allowed to change their mind or find. So what would the reason be for an inspection at all if they were going to take it as is? Why did they even have an inspection? Why didn't they strike out that paragraph, or why didn't you? Because you were giving them, the go-ahead. So they said it's not suitable. And Frank, your gut feeling, you're not giving legal advice. Do you think he would ever succeed in keeping the money?
I think it'd be slim to none, Tom.
Okay, now, here's the deal, Denny. Here's the good news. All you have to do is keep it. Is it with your real estate broker?
It is with the title company, I believe.
Okay.
I think it went to them.
All right. Sometimes you have trust accounts. Frank, with the title company, they will not release it without his approval. Isn't that right?
Right, and they would want somebody to send a letter requesting it.
So if he doesn't approve it, they also won't give it to him either, will they?
Unless well, they'll start that 120-day clock, Tom.
What's that mean?
In other words, the title company could basically just hold on to this until they're given notification as to what to do with it, or unless one of the parties.
Well, okay. So let's say they don't agree. Then what? What does the title company will never release it? The default is what I'm getting at. The default is to keep it.
Right, and then if there's a dispute, they would go to a mediation.
No, well, who says? Who says?
The contract. The contract. If they would go to, if there's a dispute arising related to the earnest money, all parties agree to go to mediation.
Now, is that written in every contract?
That's written in the contract to buy and sell real estate.
Okay. Now, if they use the Colorado approved contract, that's in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what? Now what? What were you going to say? It's in there. That's a yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, he can still refuse to mediate. Okay. So now he refuses to mediate. Then what happens? I'm going to shorten this up. Here's what happens. The title company will usually do an interpleader. An interpleader says, I'm not a party to this other than, in this case, an interpleader says, I'm not a party to this. I'm basically in the middle. And I don't want to be in the middle, so I'm asking the court to decide where I give the earnest money. Isn't that right, Frank? That's
yeah, they're going to wait for any proceeding between the buyer and seller or interplead all parties and deposit earnest money into a court.
Exactly.
They have several options, yeah.
So the mediation is one. The other one is an interpleader. Now, Denny, why don't you invoke the mediation clause?
That's what we were going to do as the next step. I just wondered if that was a good idea.
Well, what other idea do you have?
None.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he got to keep the house not sold till then?
No,
yeah. Oh, he can't sell the house while this is going on.
Why can't we sell the house?
Because there's a lawsuit. Nobody will touch it. Frank, isn't this usually cooties?
It could be, Tom. I suppose he could put it back on the market, but I just think you get into muddy waters personally. I've seen things like this, and I think you just get into muddy waters.
And it'll take about 3 months to go through this. Now, Denny, I think you're foolish. Okay, you didn't call to be told that. I think you're foolish, and I think that where is this house located in general area?
It's Boulder County.
Are you kidding me? How far from Boulder City?
We're in Lafayette.
Oh, okay.
So 7 miles.
Now, I know where Lafayette is. And what size is the home?
It's 2,500, including the walkout basement.
What is it without the walkout?
Oh, about 17, 18.
Okay. And what about how is the curb appeal compared to those in its neighborhood?
It's immaculate in our opinion.
Do you live in it? Do you live in it?
We've lived in it since it was built 21 years ago.
What price did you agree on with this couple?
$625,000.
Okay. Now, that house should fly off the market. So
I agree.
Well then, Denny, I think you're upset that you didn't get any offers, and this is an offer, and now you just want to keep the money. You're going to lose the prime selling seasons, and you're going to ultimately lose. What is the contract with your current lister?
You mean the length of it?
Yeah.
It was 90 days.
Are you out of contract with your listing with the broker?
No, we're about 2 months, so 60 days. We got about a month left.
Okay. If you love the guy, stick with the guy or woman. I would recommend. Now, Frank, by the way, he's probably cringing that I'm doing this, but I would go with Frank. And again, he's like I said, he's cringing because he doesn't like when I do this and somebody's been working on it. But I'm sorry, I don't think they had that house on the market a month and a half. You had no offers. That's ridiculous. What were you going to say, Mark?
Well, I would try to negotiate with them. Maybe if
negotiate what? You either give it back or not. Do you think they're
say, hey, we're gonna make it harder to get it back, or just let us keep $1,000 or something.
And why?
It's worth a try.
But what I'm saying is, Denny, do you need the money, Denny? I mean, what is the point here? Do you want to punish them? What's the point? What is the real point? The money will go towards the purchase price, so you're not getting an.
He's pissed they waste their time. That's the point.
What time did they waste? No, wait a minute. It was 1 week after they signed. What time did they waste? Negotiation is not a cost. If you're not willing to negotiate, that's your problem. If he had offers coming in addition to this one, it wouldn't have mattered, but he didn't. So, that's all imagined problems. There were no problems. You only had their signature for 1 week. That's what you're bitching about. 1 week. And that's what it comes down to. The court doesn't care how long you've been screwing with him, because the court will say, listen, this is free enterprise. If you had 2 or 3 offers, guess what? You wouldn't have done it. But you did. So now, is it their fault you didn't have any additional clients, and therefore you're putting more weight on their negotiating than you would if you were negotiating with 4 or 5 people? Negotiation is negotiation. It's at the time of signature that they bind you, and you take it off the market. It was not off the market before that.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm saying in reality,
I know.
He's pissed they backed out.
Right, he is. Right, Denny, you're pissed.
Well, yeah, when you sign a contract, I think you kind of want to live to it. That's
Denny,
the way I feel about
Denny,
it.
no, Denny, you're wrong. When you sign a contract, you live by all the provisions, including the ones that allow them to get out. What you're saying is, and I know damn well, Denny, if the shoe was on the other foot, you'd say, wait a minute, don't I have a right to do that? Everyone loves being strictly held to a contract. Like, for example, when there's a mistake one time on a Corvette, and the guy was getting it for a mistaken price of $25,000 cheaper, he believed everyone should be held to it, even if a mistake was made, an honest mistake. So I asked him, what about you found out you were paying $25,000 too much because of some mistake, but you agreed to it? Would you be held to the same standard? I think, Denny, I'm sorry. You know, this world where when you sign it, you live by it. You don't believe it. Do you know why, Denny? Because they did have an out in that contract, and you're not honoring it. How do you like that? That's the way I look at it.
Oh, I love these purists.
Here's the bottom. He's not a purist, though. The bottom line is his realtor could have done a Loctite deal and didn't. So, I mean, that's how it comes down to.
But there's almost no Loctite deals, almost. I mean, you know, only when you want them.
Well, that's what I mean, when you want them. I lowballed the guy by, what, $200,000.
Oh, no,
I said I'd close in 30 days, and if I don't, I'll give you $100,000. Here's in here, here's an escrow.
I know that. We know that. But very seldom do buyers or sellers want that. They want it out.
Well, the reason I did is because I was lowballing the shit out of
The
it.
guy wanted to get out of it, didn't he? Okay, so it was ironclad as much as it could be.
Yeah. Well, it would have been very hard for him to get out because I would have had real damages.
And Aileen had that on her. She had her.
Okay, guys. You've heard me talk about 2 things that I really love. You've heard me talk about Everlast siding, which is the best. You know, even if it wasn't on my show and they were a competitor, I'd have to say, you know what? Everlast is the great siding, and you heard me talk about K&H Home Solutions. Together, you have a winning combination. If you have K&H with their expert, certified craftsmen install the best siding, you have the best facelift. And right now, they're offering Everlast siding at the cheapest price they've ever offered it, ever. And that's up, I think it's 40% off of retail. Now, they normally have a low price, but never this low. Great financing is also available. So for windows, siding, doors, and more, K&H has what you're looking for. Everlast siding on sale. 303-421-7100. Find out about the appointment openings at khwindows.com. Make your own appointment, no obligation. khwindows.com.
This movie looks so good.
What is it, Mark?
Scary Stories.
Oh, you love that shit. Mark loves horror. You don't like gory horror, or do you, Mark? You love gory?
All of them.
Do you love, like, Saw?
Love Saw!
Oh, you crazy person.
I love Saw.
You're going to like this movie, The Hunt.
No, I won't watch that.
What is that about,
For my
guys?
political stances,
I agree. I just read
Tell me what it's
today.
about. Is
It's
it like
about
Hunger
hunting
Games?
deplorables.
Yes.
It's Hunter.
Libs hunting conservatives.
Liberals hunting conservatives.
That's about it, yeah.
No, but what really is it about?
That's exactly what it's about.
That's what it is, yeah.
It's political.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're going to take a spanking on it,
Book
though.
you gave me?
No, this is
Why?
a movie.
Oh, a movie?
That's
I don't know, you know.
ESPN took it off.
It's all about liberals?
advertising.
Liberals hunting
Why?
conservatives.
Why? Because
And ESPN.
how about if I write a movie, kill everybody that's gay? Is that okay? Of course not. They fucking smack the shit out of you, nor should you do it.
Yeah, but you see, political trumps everything. People feel it's okay. It's okay to be exclusive when it comes to political stuff. That's why I always say it's bullshit. Do you know politics trumps religion? It trumps everything. No one has a belief stronger than politics when they're in politics. For example, no matter how you look at it, the Catholic Church is opposed on every level to abortion. Period.
Except the Pope.
Now,
No, except life of the mother.
But who voted for abortion?
I'm not getting into the subsets. I'm just saying their stance officially is anti-abortion. Yet, theoretically, then Catholics should not support the Democratic platform.
That's right. They should
but
not.
they
But
do.
they do. They
do.
voted for Hillary.
How do they justify it? Because they're saying, well, you
Not
know,
all of them.
Majority of them do. Majority of the Catholics.
No, I'm not saying that they support abortion. They support the Democratic
Joe
Party.
Biden's another
No,
one.
I know.
Absolutely.
Nancy Pelosi.
Pro-abortion.
Yeah. Blasio, the guy from New York, he's a Catholic, supposedly.
That's true. And that is
No,
true.
some of them come out and say they're pro-abortion.
No, but they've never used that I know of. But what I mean is this, is that, here's the deal, Mark. They're not saying everyone should, pro-abortion means, oh, we think it's a great idea. They don't. I mean, the most staunch abortion people say, you know, I mean, it's pro-choice. They don't relish in it. They don't like it.
We don't even approve. We don't really approve pro-choice.
Every woman should get an abortion.
Silverman.
The Catholic Church does not believe in pro-choice.
Somebody like that.
I thought.
Okay.
Pro-abortion is a term that the anti-abortion people use because they want to make it sound like, oh yeah, we think it's great. Now, there might be some evil sons of bitches that say that, but they basically are saying a woman should choose. They're not saying, yeah, that's great. You know, that's the best option in the world. I think they would look at it as one of the last resorts, don't you? Even if you're pro.
As a Catholic, I'm a Catholic, and I do not believe in abortions, period. I don't care if it's rape, incest,
So I don't
whatever.
know how...
we should promote adoption.
I don't know
in
how
this country.
Catholics reconcile being a Democrat.
Yeah,
Actually, or Republicans. Some Republicans have weird views. But that's because politics trump religion.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Now listen, we got to get to all the phones, so please be patient. I will get to all of you, including Dave. Dave, welcome. What is going on with you, Dave?
Hey, Tom, I should have listened to you when you talked about contractors not paying in full before.
You paid in full up front?
Yes, I did. I had an air conditioner put in last year.
How much did you pay?
Springs. $4,500.
$4,500. Did you at least get a system?
Yes, I did, and then the system's working, but my problem is now I was promised I paid an extra $250 to get a permit, and this contractor has now dropped off the face of the earth, and I have not been able to get a hold of him to get this permit.
Well, hold on. We got two issues here. First of all, you're upset that you paid for a permit, and he never got one?
Correct.
Okay. Then did it have a line item that said permit?
Not in the original contract. I had to ask for one and write him an additional check.
What I'm asking is anywhere in writing where he will buy the permit for $250?
Yes.
Okay. So you paid for something you did not get. That's one issue. The second issue is you're telling me it's not working right. What's wrong with it?
No, the air conditioner is working fine.
Oh. I swear to God you said it wasn't working right. Okay. So everything's fine. Oh, right now it's $250. So not a big deal. I mean, you know, that doesn't sound like you were totally screwed. Where was this done? Who did the job?
It was called the Mountain Time Heating and Air Conditioning down here in Colorado Springs.
Mountain Time Heating and Air. Okay, so I think that's wrong that you paid for something. What I don't understand is I mean, big deal is, no, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal whether he had a permit or not. In my personal opinion, not professional, I think if you do the job right, I don't care if you have a permit. I don't want to break the law intentionally, so I'd rather have one. But here's the bottom line. You paid for it and did not get it. You're sure it wasn't included in one mass contract. You paid an extra $250, and it was earmarked for permit.
Yes,
all right.
I had to do that because it wasn't on the original contract, and I wanted
Yeah, that part doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all I care about. It's in writing. For some reason, you think because it was a separate contract, maybe you know you're saying I know for sure it was a permit because it was a separate contract. Good. That contract for the permit, what does it look like?
It's on his letterhead. It's
Okay, good.
a separate line item.
Excellent. Let's get a copy of that and go after these. I think Daphne would be good at calling this guy and going after him. Deputy Daph's filling in today for Deputy Suzanne. I never call her Deputy Suzanne because she's really ex-pro. Executive producer. Hey, that's a cool rap name for my producer, ex-pro. Sue's ex-pro. That's her rap name, right? Mine is T to the no, what was mine again? I forget. Anyway, let's keep going. Gloria bought a car a year ago. Broke down. Keeps breaking down. Gloria, you know all the obvious things. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to sum this up. Go ahead.
Okay, so a week after we bought it, it broke down. And it was the fuel pump. It was at the dealership, at the shop for 3 months. Then shortly after that, it broke down again. We took it to another place. So basically, it's been to O'Mara, Emic, Buick, AutoNation in Nevada, and it's been having the same issue.
Okay,
so,
good. You did a great job summarizing that. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, so let's talk. What kind of car is it?
It's a GMC Sierra 1500.
Okay, you bought it as is, I imagine. Did you buy it from a dealer?
We bought it from Johnson Auto Plaza in Brighton.
Johnson. And was it as is, or did you have what year is it?
It's a 2016.
Okay, did it have a warranty? Did it have a warranty on it?
It did. It came with a warranty. Looking at the paperwork, it is crossed out, the warranty part. It doesn't specify.
No, I mean, does the factory have a warranty on it that can be transferred? Did you ever transfer the warranty to you?
Yes, and during all this time, GMC actually paid for the repairs of these the whole time that we've been.
Oh, good. So right now, what is the complaint?
Now.
Okay, up till now, and you've had the car now for how long?
We bought it. It wasn't last year. It was in August of 2017.
Okay, so
we've only drove it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You bought it. This is what matters. The calendar. Mm-hmm. You bought it August of 2017. So you're coming up on 2 years of ownership. What I want to know, I guess what I want to know is, what do you expect? I mean, you say until now. You're going to have to maintain cars eventually. What's wrong with the car right now? What prompted this call?
It's a fuel pump problem. So they gave us a report. One of the people at a shop gave us the report of this car, everything that has ever been done to it.
Okay.
And starting at 6,458 miles.
What's your point, though, Gloria? What's the point of this, of the fact that they gave you a list of everything that was wrong with it? What are you saying? Therefore, because so much work was done, it's a lemon. I shouldn't have bought it. I should have done more homework. I could have gotten these records
I think
before.
Where she's going
I don't know where we're going.
I think she's saying, hey, they did the fuel pump way back when. It's the fuel pump again. It should be covered. Is that what you're saying?
Is that what you're saying, Gloria?
Yes, that's
okay.
what
When
I'm
did
saying.
When was the most recent fuel pump put in? First of all, was the fuel pump only done once before?
No, it's been done 1, 2. And 3 times already.
Wait, hold on. Not counting this one.
Not counting this one.
Now,
no.
That is an issue. Usually when something is fixed under warranty, what happens if it's not fixed?
What do you say? Ask the question.
If something is covered by warranty and it's fixed. But it keeps breaking. What usually
It doesn't matter. Warranty's up when the warranty's up.
Not necessarily.
But they might not have found the underlying problem.
I was going to say, in writing, you're correct, but normally people have made the argument that it was never actually fixed right. Therefore, you still owe us.
Or there was an underlying problem. In other words, something else is causing it to go out that they didn't repair correctly.
So, really, I mean, rather than taking it back to the same old people, let's get someone good up there. Where are you located? I say up there. Where are you located?
We're in Denver, and we've been through I mean, we've been through Park Meadows, the Buick.
No, I'm not talking about dealers.
Almira,
I'm not talking about dealers. I'm talking about going to a great mechanic who will take a look at that and tell you exactly what's wrong. That's what we have to do first. Then, if it goes back to something that they attempted to fix earlier while it was under warranty, I think I can make the argument that they should cover it. But don't get it fixed, get a diagnosis. What part of Denver are you preferential to any part of Denver? Where are you in usually?
We are basically in the border of Lakewood and Denver on Sheridan and Alameda.
Daphne, could you hook her up with somebody that will give a great diagnosis? You may have to pay I don't know. I mean, just tell them it's for the show. Daph, let's find someone to look at this. I want to know what's wrong. Or SOS Inspections, possibly. Norris, he's great at diagnosing automotive MDs. We'll find someone, okay? That's the first thing. Before we can say they never fixed it right.
What can make a fuel pump go out?
I'll tell you what I think it is.
What do you think?
If it has two fuel pumps, and I'm trying to figure out if it
does. That one that we keep having with that, they have a rail pump and another one.
That's right.
And the one will make the other one fail all the time, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. Aurora Ortho Long. Aurora Ortho.
Gas tank or whatever.
One might the high pressure might be.
This is the two of the high low pressure ones.
That's what I'm saying. The high pressure could be fucking up the low pressure or vice versa. I don't know which order they're in on the rail.
The magnetic fluxer could be incapacitated.
It is.
From the magnetic resonance of the percolator.
Of the terminal velocity.
1500.
You do have car guys on once a week. Okay.
What'd you say?
This is a good one for tomorrow.
This would be a good one for tomorrow, even though he's on here right now.
Have her call back.
We don't want to talk now.
I'll bet you there's trash.
Do you want a beautiful smile? Well, a beautiful smile entails sometimes fixing your jaw and your palate. Narrow palates can cause health problems. Dr. Kent Lawson, the new orthodontics, attacks it at its root. They can widen the palate. Listen to this. Then use Invisalign braces to give you a beautiful smile, but it also helps TMJ and sleep apneas and anything else like headaches or migraines because of a misaligned jaw. They take care of it. And guess what? It's less. It's 2 years or less. Can you imagine that? They have thousands of cases to show you in proof of what they do. Get an evaluation. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. The new orthodontics. Dr. Kent Lawson. Remember those names, Google them or whatever, 303-690-0100. No one does it better. And a complete job, a beautiful smile, 303-690-0100. That's Aurora TMJ, the new orthodontics.
The thing she didn't get across is it is in the shop right now, and they are still trying to fix it, and they said now they won't, it's not covered by warranty. But it's the same problem,
well, then she needs to get SOS Inspections. She needs someone there. I don't know if it's the same problem. We don't know. We don't know what's wrong with it. That's the problem. We need a diagnosis.
I can't believe we went to taking the broken fuel pump out and seeing what problems wrong with the fuel pump. After the second one, you would have said, okay, this fuel pump is not working.
You know, it's funny.
She bought it used. She might have not known it had been replaced twice.
Right, but she's had it replaced twice under her.
Yeah, I know.
Here's the deal about fuel. If they have low pressure, that's what they go to. It doesn't matter. They go to it. And it could be something else causing low pressure, but most of the time...
Well, Dan said one that's very interesting, and it happens more than you think, is shit in the tank. And it gets sucked up and clogs up and then burns out the fuel pump.
You have fuel, here's what you have. You have the sender, and then you have the gauge, and then you have the pump. And that's all they look at.
But I'm saying, if they did the fuel pump, would you try to test the fuel pump you just took out of there?
That's right. Yeah. If it's working, then it's something else.
Right, exactly.
damn people don't test
Well,
shit.
especially-
I mean, you're imagining a bench where they're hooking up to power and seeing if it's pumping. People don't do anything anymore.
Well, you can't because you couldn't compete. That would
Remember
be-
those days in TV repair? They'd take it back to the shop and run it and look at it. And, oh
Pull out
man,
the tubes.
But you would think after the third one, they'd say, okay, well, is it fuel pump bad?
except they don't know each other.
The third one, why would they care? The third technician isn't going to give a shit.
You're right. If they take it back to the same place,
Nobody gives a shit. That's the problem with the world. It's remove and replace.
But you thought GMC, if they're paying for it every time, they said, God, 3 times. What the hell are we paying for a third one?
I'll bet you
They don't care. They're probably also going, it's in 500 miles, it's not our problem.
Do you think anyone looked at the whole thing?
No.
The history?
Not from gas tank to
Hell
fuel injectors.
You're thinking way too logically, and if
Gas
companies
tank
were
to
run like that,
exhaust.
I always thought GMC would go say Brett, they'd say, okay, car under warranty, fuel pump.
I don't know, maybe they have a record.
Because they got to
I mean, obviously she printed out.
So let's take your scenario. So they see that, then what do? They call up the third dealer and say, what?
Hey, you know what?
Hey,
we don't
spend
think,
another 10 hours on it?
Yeah, we don't think we fixed this right the first time.
Or do they go, oh shit, it's out of warranty in a week, fucking throw a fuel pump.
I agree with that. I agree that if it's that close.
That's why we're saying, but even if it wasn't out in a week, what do you think, even if they did that, what would they do? They're not going to intervene with a mechanic. If the mechanic says they need a fuel pump, they're not going to assume that the other 2 fuel pumps were done wrong. They don't give a shit.
Where does she buy gas? I mean, she could be buying gas from someplace.
You know something though? That's a good, if there was someone at a corporate level who could introduce an audit system, because do you know how many times warranties are probably paid for not useless?
Yeah.
Well, they're called TSVs though. They kind of do this already, but not on the same vehicle.
No, I'm not talking
They do it on the same year, make, model.
No, I'm talking about one vehicle.
Same
Can you imagine if there was a department that in a history, if you see something more than twice, it flags it, and you...
I wouldn't want the public to see it.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Jones Sullivan Approval Reverse Mortgage. Okay, we do have some questions I have to get to. Reverse loans are basically loans on your equity that you get when you're 62 or older. You are not allowed to have a first deed of trust on your house, so the first payment from the reverse loan goes to pay off your loan. If you have money left over, you can take it, or some people just choose to refinance so they don't have a payment, because the interest and payments accrue against the house until you either sell it and pay it off, or move and pay it off, or you go into a nursing home, they pay it off, you die, your estate pays it off. The good news is you'll never go negative. So let's say the house went down in value, your estate gets it, and the kids go, oh my God, we can't afford to pay this off. They don't have to. They just surrender the house. Is that basically all true?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now,
so they just
but
go away.
You do have to pay taxes and insurance. They will not tolerate you not insuring it or paying taxes,
That
right?
is correct, yeah.
So one question, we get this every time you're here. Can they use the line of credit to pay their taxes or insurance from the loan?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that money's there for them to use for any purpose they want.
Okay, then. Why do they do a credit score then? Why?
The reason that we really don't look at credit scores.
And this is my question, not an emailer.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So we don't look at credit scores. We do it the old-fashioned way. We look at the credit report for the last 2 years to make sure that they've paid their mortgage on time.
But why?
Because there are so many people that have stopped paying taxes and insurance.
Oh, and so they try to predict, is this person going to be vigilant? Are they going to pay their taxes and insurance?
Yeah.
So then our question comes, what is the bottom credit score for a reverse loan?
Doesn't matter. We don't really look at the credit scores.
I thought you did.
No, we look at the actual credit history. We look
that's
at
why
it
you were telling me that.
way.
The payment history.
So even if they have a low credit score, it doesn't matter. You're looking at payment history.
Yeah, but the credit score typically is indicative of their payment history.
But what's the lowest you've seen go through, guys? I mean, Mary Jane, you do a lot of these. What's the lowest you recall? Do you recall any?
Well, when the rule went into effect,
you're going to do this and keep that right close to you.
In 2015, that's when we started looking at the credit history for the past 2 years.
So what's the lowest you've seen?
I mean, I've seen 500.
Oh my God!
But
did they have a pulse?
But but then you have to analyze the credit report.
Okay.
Because
now,
it may be a medical collection that brought that score down. They really have no debt. They haven't made, they've made their house payment on time.
All right.
But they had medical collection.
Approval
so that
reverse.
brings it down.
Approval. Reverse.com, and I'll be giving out that number.
So we analyze the 2-year credit history to determine if the borrower really is responsible for any obligations that they might have.
I don't know why people have this feeling that it's not my house or my kids can't get the house. If the house appreciates like normal appreciation, there's still going to be equity at the end. I mean, and now there are times there won't be, right? But it's their house to do whatever they want. Exactly. In fact, they can even pay it off, even if there is a little negative, if they wanted to.
If they wanted to keep the house.
But they don't have to.
No.
And they never go after your estate or you for that. Now, Ed, I'm going to get to you right now, and then I'm going to ask anyone. We'll have open lines at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, and those listening in Netherlands, you can call 303-Martino 24/7. Or you can say, Mark, Ed, you're up too.
Ladies, what is the longest person that you guys have done a reverse? In other words, there's a life expectancy. Everything is based off
Ed, you're there. Just hang on. Mark interrupted us. Hold on a second.
Has anybody been lived to 110? I mean, have you guys ever had something like, not only did they eat up the equity, which is fine, but they made out like a bandit?
Do you know, does anything come to mind on the reverse loan, guys?
Well,
and then Ed's
for
next.
For the age, I can't really say how old they are, but there are people, during the recession. Hello?
Yeah, Ed, you are. In fact, I want to take Ed, okay? Then we'll go back to that. Ed, listen, man, what's going on with your kitchen remodel? What's happening?
Well, what has happened, Tom, is we had the kitchen remodel done about 3 years ago. Okay. And within 3 months afterwards, what it is, it's the doors are made out of alder or let me see here.
It doesn't matter, Ed. None of this matters. What matters is the problem. Let's get to the problem.
Okay, they're coming apart. The front of the doors are 5 pieces.
What do you mean 5 pieces? Like, so it's beveled?
Well, no, there's a trim that goes up along 2 sides, top and bottom, and the centerpiece.
Right, I understand. I call that, I guess there's a name for it. Yeah. So are they all just delaminating and falling off?
They were painted with this high-priced paint that has a hardener in it.
Yeah.
That seals out moisture.
Is it cracking?
Okay, and they started. It's coming apart at the seams down on the bottom.
Do you have any photos you can show us?
Yes, I could take photos, but Tom, what's happening is it's separating. The guy that did it.
Are all the doors doing this, Ed?
Yes, every last one of them.
Every one of them. So it's defective. Now, did they recover the sides of the boxes?
Yes. They didn't do anything. He fixed the one. It started out.
No, I'm asking, Ed, when you had the job done originally, they usually do the doors, they do the drawer fronts, and they do the sides, where whatever is exposed on the boxes. So did you have any of those done, the sides of boxes?
Yes, we did.
And are they delaminating?
It's not delaminating. The wood is failed. The glue is failed. Where they seam those together.
All right. What about the drawer fronts? Are they coming apart?
They are marked up.
Okay, hold on a sec.
They are.
Hold on. What we need to do is get some photos, but we also, who is the contractor that did this?
His name is...
Or the company.
Kaiser. It is Oak Tree Classic Woodworks, LLP.
Oak Tree Classic Woodworks. Okay. And what do they say about it? Is there any kind of warranty?
He started to work on it. He said that he would take care of it,
And then what?
He's just been putting us off.
Okay, hold on. Let's call him, Daphne. Let's call him. Okay, so Mark asked a question. It is a good question. I'd never thought of it. Mark, you want to know who got the best deal ever? Who kept that reverse loan the longest that you could?
Yeah, because at some point, no matter how you look at it, the bank's upside down and you made out like a bandit. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens from time to time, but the best deals were the loans I originated in Arizona in 2005 and 6 when their property values went down by 50%.
Oh, my God.
And I had people calling me and
thanking you.
Yeah, I mean, thanking me because they had their lines of credit
they got all
more than the house.
They got all their equity, and they can't call that line.
They cannot call it. They can't reduce the.
So here they are sitting on a line of credit, Mark, that if they use it, wow,
worth more than the house.
Now, what if someone takes all that money and just leaves? Obviously, like any default, they'll come after you like a civil
No.
No, it's theirs.
No, it's theirs.
No, here's what I'm asking.
Contractually, they can draw out all the money. Let's say they're on their deathbed and they draw out all the money before they die to distribute to their relatives.
Are you kidding me? And then they walk away or walk away into the
I think one of the
sunset.
I think one of the biggest parts on reverse mortgages is it makes people feel comfortable they can stay in that house forever. And to me, that's worth a lot
Mark,
in some circumstances.
Of all the things, you have a lump sum, or you have the monthly payments, or you have the line of credit. In my opinion, the line of credit is absolutely the best option, in my opinion. It's there as an emergency, but the biggest thing, it shows zero equity to anyone threatening to come after you for anything.
And you could buy a new house with the product too, right? If you want to downsize into a smaller house.
Well, it doesn't really make sense to do that because the closing costs are so high. So a bridge loan is not a good fit.
I don't know if he's talking about a bridge. He's talking about if you buy a new home, period, from scratch, you can put enough down to get a reverse loan. No?
So if you're, yes, because I've got 2 of those in the works now, but it's going to be their primary residence.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to buy a home now and put 50% down or whatever, I could theoretically, if I'm old enough and qualify, I could get the other 50% in a reverse loan.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, Jim, you're selling a house, Jim?
Yes.
All right. You have questions about taxes, age, marital status, all very, very important. So hang on. We'll get you information.
This report is sponsored by Blue.
And then he started playing something in the background.
No, I know, but I mean, I thought he heard. I said, "Yeah, you're up."
But then he started explaining the problem by what color the door was.
Yeah, what kind of wood it was. You know what? This lamination, it's not lamination.
See, it would have been a great example if you gave him the 30 seconds, because we'd still be here right now, and he'd be just explaining with the hinges how many screws in each one.
Okay, I have another. Let me see. I got something.
Actually, got good review.
Now, how about I had to ask you this? So, and I go back to your comment on abortion and being Catholic. How about the morning after pill? Literally, is that an abortion in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I don't even know if you know you're pregnant when you take that. I have no idea.
Where's one clear
But
choice
you know,
garage?
I mean,
don't know, right?
the church teaches that, and yet, like Tom said, the majority of Catholics vote in favor of Democratic candidates.
How about the pull-out method?
John Fuller, Fuller
That
Law.
also-
Look
really,
that up
when
on
you
the
look at
referral list.
that is actually-
Excuse me, one sec. John Fuller is a personal injury attorney.
That's what the church.
Hold on a second. Ed, can we come back to this? Can we come back to this? Okay. I want to get my thoughts together. I'm trying to do a commercial for John Fuller, and I just have some technical difficulties. Okay, I swear to God, we really can't fucking talk when I'm trying to do a commercial.
Sorry.
No, I can't. This is so unprofessional.
It is.
I'm not looking to assign fault, but man, when I'm talking, we've got to be quiet.
When his headphones go on, I know better.
Connect easily from anywhere. Your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet Happy. Let's talk about crackerjack mudjacking. What is mudjacking? It's where you take concrete and
I think mudjacking is a bad term for it. It's just concrete repair. And everyone uses the term mudjacking. Do you know what mudjacking is? Would you think? I mean, you do probably. Okay, you probably know. But no, it's pumping mud underneath concrete to lift it up. But people, even if you do know what it is, you don't equate that with like
patching a crack. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
repairing.
do you think it's hard to explain? I mean,
You took that so well, by the way. I got to just interrupt your thought there.
oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'll do it right now. Yeah. Okay, 20 seconds. So, pumping, even if you know what they're doing, you're wondering, well, how's that going to repair concrete? I think there's no reason to even use the word mud jacking ever, but everyone does it.
That's the reason.
It's just like in the industry. Okay. Now, John Fuller, Fuller Law, personal injury attorneys. The reason I think this is important is when you are injured, the very first thing that happens is people say, I know a guy, or my sister-in-law knows somebody, or my brother knows somebody. Here, don't take chances. You get free legal advice from John Fuller, Fuller Law, as a result of calling him from the Tom Martino Show. You go personalinjuryco.com and read all about him. Then call 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Don't take chances. John Fuller.
But it's not concrete repair, Tom. The concrete is still cracked.
No, but you're
I know, but they call it concrete
all you
repair.
are is lifting it.
Yeah, but they call it concrete repair because have you ever seen?
Oh, I
there,
know.
there are cracks that when it's put back together the right way, I swear, it's like, where is it? Well, yeah, I know. They don't fuse it together, but then all you do is something cosmetic to keep the moisture out.
You could put an epoxy in it.
Now, the best of everything is pumping it up and then doing the overlays. Those overlays, those new polyurea overlays, they take care of cracks and they won't crack again. The old stuff just mirrored whatever was underneath it.
Most people with a house 20 years old have some concrete leading up to the house or in the driveway they've tripped over. Literally, they've tripped over. And it fixes it cheap.
But you're not going to put that epoxy, at least I haven't seen.
No, not you. I'm talking
driveway.
just the lifting.
Yeah.
The ground settles, the voids
that
happen.
epoxy makes an old garage look beautiful.
You know what? I do it in every house. Before I move in, that was one of the reasons I wanted to get early access.
Yeah, I saw yours.
If you do that and paint the inside of a garage,
I know it.
My neighbors did their own from a Home Depot thing, and it turned out beautiful.
Why do so many people think the garage is not important? And sometimes when you're showing a home, the front door and the garage, they're almost, you walk through the garage.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And
almost everybody goes through the garage.
And they think, and when they're showing a home in an open house, if they have the garage door open, people leave all their shit in there, and it looks crappy. And you immediately start thinking there's not enough storage. This happened to Mark too, where they wanted to back out. When I did mine, I completely gutted everything. I put the walls were like new where they needed to be, and then painted all white. And then I took out, then I took all this ugly shelving off and out, and I put up beautiful hooks just for some stuff, and then put the epoxy down. I did that. People just, it's funny, they go, what a beautiful garage. People would walk by, the neighbors got the number of all my people. Guess what? The people who are selling it realize, that it's almost like they don't know what they have because they've been there so long, they just start running it down. And all you have to do is take a lovely touch to it and everything comes back.
Ours are really nice. I'm the one that cleans it, stand it when it.
The same with basements and stuff like that.
No, I didn't ask for it just because I trusted them, but I'm going to meet them at my credit union in Castle Rock tomorrow, or 2 days from now. 10 a.m. They're open from 10 to 1, and we'll do the closing right there.
No, we're going to finance through Blinker, right?
No, Blinker's not closing it. Why? Because I'm not going to wait that time. He's got cash, so we're going to close right there.
You're just using the app for the transfer.
Actually, in this case, I didn't even use it for the transfer.
Oh.
We're just going to do it right there.
So who's buying it? Is anybody we know?
No.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So now we're trying to, Daphne, did you get a hold of that kitchen remodeler?
So when I called the Oakwood.
Yeah, whatever.
Oakwood
Classic. Oak Tree Classic Woodwork. Yeah.
I asked if I could leave a message with Eric, and she said nope, and she hung up on me.
Okay, so therefore, so in other words, she didn't even care.
They don't care.
You said we had a problem.
So I asked Ed, and I got the father's phone number, who used to own the business. I called the father.
Good. And what did he say?
He said Ed is a friend of mine for a long time. He said, I am going to handle this situation. He is going to get back in touch with me. I asked him to come on air, but he said no.
You know what? That's nice. And who was the person that answered the phone before?
Let's see. I think I wrote it down.
Is it a relative of
Is it his wife or what?
No, it was like
can't be
Rashika.
an employee.
No, it was an employee. Because
what's her name?
I think it was Rashika. But Ed said that he had already told them he was calling into here, so they were already on the defense.
So Rashika, we're not condemning anybody. This could have been a bad batch of glue or something. You should never, ever just hang up on people or be polite to people. I say this all the time. You know, we've had cases where the company was not in the wrong at all, but their phone reception and their attitude was so bad, we still recommended that people stay away from them. So we were trying to get a hold of Eric. Is that right? Eric is now the owner?
Yes,
Eric
Tiger.
is the son, right?
Yes, Eric is the son.
And the father's first name is what?
Dave.
So Dave cared.
Dave cares.
And, oh, that's so nice that you went that extra step. But what made you think of doing that? As far as the father, how'd you even know there was a father involved?
I listened to the show. I'm a fan. He said that he sold the...
Did he call in?
He sold the business. No.
Well, then how did you know to call...
I think I heard it. I think I heard him say it. Or maybe he told me after, but...
Who? Oh, the consumer.
Yeah,
okay.
Ed
so
said
Ed. So this is good news. So apparently you knew the owner of this company when he was running it?
Yes, we've been good friends for some time.
Did you mention it to him? Did you say, hey, Dave, your son dropped the ball here?
Because his son is saying that it's a moisture problem.
Oh, okay. They're on their way?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, my better half came in, and apparently she says they're on their way.
Do you know who Rashika is?
Do I know what?
What's her name?
It might be Danica.
Danica or someone? I don't know. Anyway. So in any case, Ed, please just keep us informed.
Sounds like someone's going to get a whooping, boy.
Keep us informed. We want to thank Dave.
Hell yeah, man.
The father who cares about oak tree classic woodwork.
And the company he founded, it sounds like.
Yeah. We want to thank Dave. And then Eric, we didn't talk to Eric. Eric, we don't know Eric's attitude. But in any case, maybe he's in over his head. Jim's turn. I promised him I'd get to him. Oh, Jim. Okay, now, I need to ask some questions. How long have you owned the house?
About 22 years.
Okay, and is it your home deeded to you?
Yes.
Okay, and do you own it outright?
I have about 92,000 left on the mortgage.
Okay, so you're in home, 22 years in home, 92K. What is it worth?
At least 500,000.
Okay, so what now? Are you married?
That's the point. I'm not married right now.
All right.
I intend to be married in the next.
Well, here's the bottom line. Here's what you do. You keep track of the basis of the home. That was the purchase price. What was your purchase price?
About 92.
Okay, you take 92 grand purchase, and you add to it all the permanent improvements. About how much did you put in? Don't say nothing because everyone puts in something. Landscaping and floors and anything permanent.
I put a 38 by 40 foot building.
Yeah. So add up all. Give me a ballpark. Give me a ballpark quickly.
I would say I probably put in a good 100,000.
All right. So now you have a basis of about 192. You take the 192. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you what happens after the break because it's important because it's not the same for everyone. You take the selling price, subtract the 192, you're going to come up with a figure. I'm going to tell you how to treat that figure or what it's all about coming up. I'm Tom Martino. Stick around on the Troubleshooter Show. Good work on getting the dad. We could have crucified them for nothing.
Paid 92 and put 100 in it. Now it's worth 500. Wow. Great investment. Wow.
Mortgage and all in just over 12 years.
I'm very impressed, man.
With what?
How you didn't explode on that. I thought that was incredible.
Hey, counseling works, man.
Give me your number. Do you have a male counselor or female?
He's a psychiatrist, full-fledged doctor.
So it's a guy.
But he's a young man, I think he's about 45.
Did you ever have a female one?
Never. Not because I didn't choose one, I just never did.
I always thought about that if I ever did counseling, if I'd want a male or female.
I have a standing once a month, and I used to go once every 6 months, like years ago, but I've always had somebody. Dr. Hilton, I loved.
What is that called? Psychotherapy. I mean, people go 2-3 times a week for that.
Yeah, but the industry can be a ripoff because...
But what is that generally for? What is psychotherapy?
Okay, what it's supposed, according to Freud, the way they believe that if you find the root cause of a problem, then you work on that root cause and the problem goes away.
So everything else fixes.
Well, kind of, because now you understand it. Understanding...
Like if you're angry and somewhere in your childhood something happened, everything relates back to that. If you can figure out how to come to grips with that, your other issues go away?
Sometimes. If you have but really psychotherapy is whatever people want it to be. Some people just like being honest with somebody and they don't want to be honest with anyone else.
So do you drag up the past? Is that what you're supposed
not
to do?
we. No, I don't believe in that.
About birds.
Oh my God.
Well, I try to just get perspective from somebody who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, true perspective.
Yeah.
No one with an angle.
But
That's
how do you
really
get to the
value
root
for
if
me.
you can't? How do you get to the root if you don't have to go back and?
Oh, I don't. First of all,
I'm not
I don't
talking
do
about
that.
you. I'm talking about a
okay,
person that
I
does
don't.
it.
I don't believe in that kind of. Although it does help sometimes. Like if people have a fear of certain things,
Of like
to understand how that started, that really does help people say, "Oh my God, that's what it is." But how do they do it? Well, some do a regression. They do hypnosis. Some do just relaxation therapy. Some just say, you know, I remember when I was younger, my mom locked me in a room, or all kinds of things happen.
Whoop my ass.
Made me get my own sword.
I've always, I don't know why, but I've always been a believer in having someone to unload on. Honest.
And what about the person that doesn't want to be verbal, that wants the counseling, but they don't want to share their thoughts?
That's
the problem.
You know what? Once you do get, here's the biggest problem people have. If you're in counseling, there's no sense bullshitting that person. I mean, you tell them.
Oh my God, you're paying for it. Why would you?
But there are people that do. They just do enough to. They almost, it's like self-validation. I like, it's like almost a confession where you say, you know what, I'm shallow. When that person did this, I thought, I wish it was me instead. You can say shit like that. You can actually be so straight with me.
Sarah Jessica Parker just started a new show on HBO called Divorce. Actually, it's not new. It's 3 seasons. So we just started binge watching.
Is it good?
It's pretty good,
okay,
man.
Good.
It's pretty good. She cheats on him. I don't want to ruin anything, but
no, don't.
It's real life shit, man.
Good character development.
But great character development. Great character development. And it probably relates to anybody that's been in a bad marriage.
See, what Mark relates to as getting softer, as he puts it, in older age, it has nothing to do with age. It has to do with all this counseling over the years. It actually does work sometimes. So it's like you learn to deal with things in a different way, but you still sometimes get triggered and go back.
No, but you still get... softer is not the word I really want to use, but I would imagine
more
even
control.
As I get older, I take more.
You're more tolerant and mellow.
It's not just more tolerant and mellow. It's like
Wonder Bread.
I like helping people more now than I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
I have more consideration for others than I used to. I have empathy.
And that in itself is a big step.
You must have really been bad.
Doing
Well, you prick!
No, Mark, I'll tell you what. Mark was a prick. Mark was
You're a
prick.
dick!
No, I'm not.
But you know how I knew.
You must have.
Do you know how I knew that Mark wasn't really a prick? Honest to God.
Can't wait.
No.
I can't wait.
No, it's very logical. It was his love for animals. Real pricks they're nasty people. They don't give a shit about anything.
Just themselves.
That wasn't even funny.
It's not something we want to talk about.
But wouldn't you agree? The older you got, the more empathy. I mean, isn't that a very true statement?
That's why the Wrong House has established.
Well, when you're a child, honest to God, when you're a human 5-year-old, there's nothing but you.
Yeah.
So as we get older, it changes.
Yeah. Even 40-year-olds, they're still about them.
Yeah. Well, 20-somethings, my God, it's all about them.
Yeah.
Or intervention or information if you're in a circle where there is a drug addict.
And then there's Dan.
When you really go through empathy, if you're in a life-threatening disease or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or death of a person
My
close to
dad,
us.
when he's got cancer, changed his whole attitude.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times, too, where, honestly, finding people in the same circumstance. My mother, she's fine now, but when she got, she had breast cancer, and like I said, she's been clean for like 20 years or whatever now. But the one thing I couldn't understand from her, why she wouldn't go to some group, because she had the hardest time dealing with it, but she just didn't want to do it. Where other people, you almost have to crave and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, or else you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
With Jewel. He used Jewel in the house whenever he...
In 2017. To make the switch, visit JUUL.com. Jewel Labs compensate. Visit or I can still do it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Let me get a fresh one, then I can then you can send it to me. It's long. I should get it. I haven't done a fresh one on him in a while. How do you beat that? And they're at the forefront of research when it comes to tint. Tint treatment comes in various forms. You can mask it or you can eradicate.
Man, I'll never forget when that idiot tub guy was in. Ooh, man, I never seen you come. That was the most unglued I've seen you.
Yeah, because of my mom. Because I was being.
Oh, it was. I know.
I was being triggered.
You were, man. That dude at that moment was screwing his mom.
No, you're not going to believe this. Guess what? So I'm at the gym. Towel around me. I go to the urinal, and guess who's next to me? Him.
Are you shit?
He goes like this.
George Bentley.
And I made believe I didn't know him.
Tom said he was he's the fact the guy showed up is still amazing. It's amazing.
He stays.
Oh, I know. We had to tell him to leave because it was getting so bad.
It's like
I thought Tom. I know Tom would never do this, but if you didn't know Tom, you would have thought he was going to jump over this table and kill him.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, brought to you by the best garage door company in the world, One Clear Choice Garage Doors, oneclearchoicedoors.com. I say that because Chappie really does what it takes to maintain garage doors, any aspect of a garage door, or anything to do with new garage doors. In fact, I just got an email from him saying, I'm finally getting a chance to update my advertising, and I'm reaching out to everyone. And he said he wants to really, we have 4 showrooms in the greater Denver area he wants to get across. And we are a Clopay master authorized dealer, LiftMaster, ProVantage dealer, and you can, and you know that we have the top quality. He really takes this seriously. Anyway, oneclearchoicedoors.com. That's the easiest way to learn all about him. And, okay, people like numbers, 303-565-6409. I don't know about you guys, but when you're driving around the car at home, do you ever jot down numbers or try to remember them? I rather get a name and the website. Wouldn't you guys? I mean, how do you feel about that? What do you do personally? Yeah. I mean, even if I do remember it right then and jot it down, I lose the paper. Yeah. If I get that name, I'll go Google it. Yeah. That's why it's important to have a name that you're not going to get, you want them to get your place, because all Googling does is bring people to the topic area. You're hoping they choose you. Okay, Jim, selling a house. Now, first I want to give you the general guidelines. Primary residences are tax-free up to a certain point in profit. When you are single, you get $250,000 in tax-free profit, period. It doesn't matter if you buy another house or not. It doesn't matter if you buy a house more expensive. A lot of people believe if they defer the gain into something more expensive, it doesn't matter. It does. It doesn't matter what you're buying. If you make more than $250,000 in profit, you have a long-term capital gain, period, and you're taxed accordingly. 15% plus 5% state is 20%. That's it. Now, you get to subtract from that your basis. And Mark brought up to me one time that that's where people get screwed the most. They don't keep track of basis. They just take their purchase price, but they forget about all of the improvements they've done over the years. All of them. Floor coverings. I mean, so many. And here's the other thing.
A good accountant will ask you those questions each year when you go see them.
And here's another thing. It's something the IRS probably almost never, ever, ever checks. I'm not suggesting you lie and say, I put in wall-to-wall carpeting, I put on a new garage. No, I'm never suggesting that. What I'm saying is, don't worry if you don't have each and every receipt for what you did. Just try to be honest and add everything in. I don't know of anyone where they've ever taken a sales of a real estate and said, justify each and every one of these expenses. I don't know.
And where that really comes in handy, as you know, is commercial property because, man, there is no exemption.
Right. There is no exemption at all. Now, with a commercial property, though, you can defer it into a more expensive property. Okay, so let's talk about you. You have $192,000 roughly. I'm going to make it an even $200 because I'm sure you can goose it up to where you have expenses where you can find $200. You have $200,000 in basis. If you sell it for $500, you have a $300,000 gain, and of that you subtract commission, so you're not really going to have anything to worry about because, you know, unless you sell it yourself. Let's say you netted a clean $300 after expenses. Now you would pay tax on $50,000.
Okay.
But it's only if you live. It's only if you live in it 2 of the last 5 years. It must be a primary residence. The other thing is this: if you're married, you could theoretically each have your own primary residence. Or if you're together on one residence, you get a $500,000 exclusion. But I always tell men, and women too, I guess, but mostly I'm talking to men when I say this, it's not worth it to get that extra exemption to get married. I'm just kidding. All right. So anyway,
well,
Jim.
That does bring up a point, though. I do plan on being married in about a month or so. Is it to my advantage then to wait until I'm married? And
yes,
then,
of course. Well, wait. Oh, wait. I never had this come up. Is she? Yeah. She didn't live there for 2 years out of the last 5. I wonder what. Hold on. We got to call Eric. I don't know what happens. Does she get to ride along with you on that exemption, or do they look at her as, nah, you haven't lived there long enough?
I think it would all come down to is if she has a property.
Does she have a primary residence? The answer is yes, right, Jim?
Yes.
Okay, and is she going to be selling it?
Probably not for some years.
Oh, okay. Because
right now she's renting.
And that's why 2 out of the last 5. So once she rents it more than like 5 years, it's over, or however many years, because you have to be there 2 out of the last 5. Can you call Eric Reinemer or someone at Atlas Financial Advisors, or the official name? Hold on, we'll get you an answer. 303-713-8255. We have lines now wide open, and I will take all of you right away. Now, one thing we talked about that got a lot of results, we were talking about the nuisance abatement law. I'm not going to go over that right this minute, but people had a lot of questions about it because they did not even know it existed. Others said that they believe people aren't passionate about it because they almost don't believe me, or they think I'm exaggerating. You know how people on the radio can exaggerate. You know, they're coming to get your guns, or you got to do this, you got to do that. Okay, the nuisance abatement law is true. I'm not exaggerating one bit. Well, they say in practice they don't do it, but they do it. They do abuse it. They say they don't. But in a nutshell, if your car, I'm going to take car and house. Those are the 2 most common things seized. But let's take the car now. If you took your car to a mechanic and dropped it off to be fixed, and that mechanic is a criminal, or that mechanic doesn't have a license, if they catch him with your car in his possession, in other words, he's pulling it around the garage, listen to this. They impound your car. Why? Because it was used in the commission of a crime, the crime being he was driving it. Now, they seize it. It's called Denver Nuisance Abatement Law. Now, once they seize it, now you go and try to get your car. And they say you got to pay an impound fee or whatever. It's like $1,800, and you can't afford it. Or sometimes they won't even let you pay a fine. They want to wait. Now, here's the biggest deal, and this really gets me. In this particular case, this really happened. His car was taken because someone else drove it into the garage. Now, that charge was dismissed because no one actually saw him drive. They couldn't make it stick, so it was dismissed. Now, in similar cases, we've had people found not guilty, or the charges were totally mistaken identity. Under the Denver Nuisance Abatement Law, they still get to keep your property. Now, you may say, wait a minute. Not only was it my car, not his, and he was found not guilty, or the charges were dismissed, the Denver Abatement Department says, sorry, that's a separate case. Now, remember, to get your car, it's because of the crime, but if you are found not guilty of the crime, the other guy, or the charges are dropped, now the city says, well, that's a separate case. Well, what do you mean a separate? Yeah, it's a civil case against your car. But wait a minute. My car was seized because it was so-called used in a crime. The underlying crime has been dismissed. Plus, I'm an innocent party. Can I get my car back? No. You can't. Unless they determine you're innocent. Now, wait a minute. The innocent and guilt is for a criminal trial. They've already ruled not guilty or not charged. On the civil side, who gets to tell if you're guilty or not, or if your car's guilty or not? They do. They don't even have to go to court. They can take your property and never give it back. And if you think it doesn't happen, you are wrong. It happens all the time, and it sucks. Eric Reinemer is with Atlas CPAs and Advisors, and I have a quick question. It's a very quick one. Eric, listen. Yes. In order to take that exemption when you sell a home, you have to be there 2 of the last 5 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And as an individual, I would get a $250,000 exclusion. What if I marry, I've been there for 10 years, but I marry a woman and sell the house a year later or a couple months later? Is that considered a $500,000 exclusion for marriage, or no, because she hasn't been there 2 years?
I don't recall that there's any time limit on how long the couple has to be married. My gut would say they should get the full $500,000.
You think so? You don't? Because the question, have you been there 2 out of the last 5, she would say no, he would say yes. But you think they would both get it?
I would take it, but I'd have to double check and go back and see if there's any like minutia in the regs that would limit it or say whatever.
So here's what we're going to do. If you could, or if anyone knows, Eric, thank you, Atlas CPAs and Financial Advisors.
How about, do they both have to be on the title?
Eric, do they both have to be on?
These are great, very specific questions that I'll check out real quick.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but they are great questions. So, Jim, give your number to Daphne. We're going to check this out further, or maybe someone will call in where it happened to them. Okay? Jim?
Fantastic.
Okay, man.
Yeah,
you brought up a good case, man. So hold on.
This report is sponsored by Exxon and Mobil's News.
Good.
Tom, you've got 2 in this morning.
It's a slow drive on northbound
I don't think she has the right to it.
downtown. First one's Fix It.
I think you have to be entitled and you have to live there to
I'm gonna. I think so too. Otherwise, people would get married just to do that.
Yeah.
Because you'd make a shitload of money.
You only get to do that once. You have a one-time.
No,
a one-time
It's
$500.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not one time.
Yeah, you do it
Not
every
one time.
2 years.
I promise
Every
you.
2 years?
You can.
Wow.
Because it's 2 of the last 5 years. And it just resets.
It's a good loophole.
Yeah.
We have fix and flippers who do it. They never pay tax.
And then they go in there and fix it up while they're living there.
They never pay tax.
Oh, what? If I was a young couple, I would do that. Because you just got to live in squalor. Right?
Yeah, construction all the time, yeah.
Okay, guys. I know.
Squalor, I didn't quite get.
What is squalor?
In a few seconds. Let's talk about Fix It 24/7. Doing a diagnosis or let's say a clean out. It's everything. They come in and recondition your entire system. They take it apart to the extent it can be. Now we're talking HVAC. They take out the condenser, the blower motor, or they take apart or uncover the condenser, the blower motor, the evaporator. They do whatever they can. They make all the adjustments and they check for leaks. They check all electrical connections. It is like a refurbishing. And if you do it, you're lucky to get them because it's only $39. And I say if, because sometimes they're just too busy to do it. Today, some slots have opened up. If you call within the next hour, you can get a $39 thorough cleaning, inspecting, and refurbishing of your AC system. That's right, $39. They also do it for your heating system as well, but right now I think you'd be worried about your AC, right? FixMyHome.com, 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939.
Attention, upgrading your bathtub to a
Squalor means the state of being extremely dirty and unpleasant.
Yeah, squalor, pig pen.
Squalor.
Especially living in poverty or neglect.
Pigs are actually very clean.
Gotcha, David Salisbury. This is unusual. I have 2 in one spot. I hope I can do this good enough to use it.
I heard pigs are actually
I might
smart.
go a tiny bit long so I can have something cut.
Like they know the slaughter's coming compared to a stupid cow.
Let's talk about the inevitable law. I'm talking about wills, probate, trusts, special need trusts. All of these things we put off, don't we? Well, now with David Salisbury, there's no reason to put it off. He has a simple approach to these things. Flat rate pricing on all of the things we eventually have to face. You can get wills for $500 or $600 or more depending on the complexity. You can do trusts. Special needs trusts if you have someone with special needs. You can avoid probate, or if someone just died and you need some help in probate. David Salisbury, that's the name. I've been associated with David for several years, and he gives great service at great prices, and you're never nickeled and dimed because it's all flat rate. 720-493-3911. David Salisbury. Look for him on my referral list. Search for David Salisbury. 720-493-3911.
Oh, this nuisance law
Is unbelievable.
2 or more offenses of disturbing the peace within the last 180 days.
Yeah, there's like 22 different things
They can take your house.
Yeah.
Your house.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta remember that. Domestic violence, take your house.
They have like 22 different things that they can do it for.
And this is listing them all. I mean, the sale at retail of any malt, vinous, or spirit liquor or fermented malted beverage in sealed containers.
If the call was dropped.
What real estate? Whatever. I don't know. I'll take anyone.
Atlas is coming back.
I think Atlas was setting something up.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to do it today. It wasn't a quick thing. So, oh, yeah. I'm sorry. If you get Jim's number, we'll call him back.
Sorry, I was on the phone. He'll get you a preliminary price so you're not wasting.
And here it is. They have 2 lawyers. That's nothing
No
they do.
excuse. You have 2 ears. One on me, one on them.
And it's just coming out of the surface.
And
What's
Joe,
that?
they have 2 lawyers. That's all they do in Denver.
2014.
It is so immoral.
So they do it when Tom says every day way they do it?
Well,
And here's the
the
deal,
whole
John.
leadership of
John, if you loaned your car to an uncle, and he was failure to appear in Aurora, or no, it had to be Denver, you're done. They can keep your car.
Wow.
And guess what? It supersedes the bank. They say it doesn't. It does. Because if the bank decides not to pay the fine, you lose it. I love the way they dance around it. Oh no, this is not forfeiture. It sure as hell is.
We have one where we gave it all back. Yeah, one out of how many?
They
You should have asked one out of how many?
I can't. It is so
What has brought it to the surface?
And this is felony or
Just had another one.
I'm the only one who's
Right,
yelling about it.
We just had another one.
We get
happen
victims calling us
4
all
or
the
5
time.
days ago.
They call all the time for their shit. Hi, Tom Martino, Joe Sullivan here, and Mary Jane. They happened to read the nuisance abatement law because I was talking about it, and you're shocked, aren't you? You truly didn't believe me like that.
Totally shocked.
Did you think? Now tell the truth. Did you think I was exaggerating a little?
Definitely.
Okay.
This is just ridiculous.
Now listen.
I did too.
So if you had a party at your house, a party, and you disturbed the peace. What does it say there? 2 of those, what? You're a nuisance.
2 within the 180 days.
Yeah,
you
now listen
are
to
a
that.
nuisance.
You lose your home. You can lose your home. They can take your home. Okay, Gilbert's trying to sell a house on Blinker.com. We like Blinker.com.
Not a house.
Excuse me, a car. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, that would be something. So he's trying to sell a car on Blinker.com.
I know a lot about Blinker, baby. You
Okay, so what are your questions?
Oh, my question is...
Yes, sir.
How do I got an accident in 2014 in February. 2014 is the car, Toyota Camry. And I got an accident in February, and I had it fixed immediately. And I guess the investigator labeled the car as a severe damage. So when I went to go label it in Blinker gave me like 16 points on why it was rejected.
Yeah, they won't do it.
They won't, man. They're just totally above. Now, it doesn't mean you're trying to cheat anyone. When I say they're above board, they want no question whatsoever.
A lot of times they might end up being the lender, and therefore they don't want a vehicle that's been severely damaged as their collateral.
So you can't sell it on Blinker. You have to go somewhere else.
Car Guru, I believe, will allow you to sell it.
Blinker wants the best of the best. They don't even want anything questionable whatsoever. They just don't.
They don't want the headaches, nor do they want bad collateral.
Hunter, you have a question? Go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah, Tom, here's my deal. I mean, my wife has called you on this, and she just chit-chatted too much and didn't get to the...
I'm sorry.
...with the time. So here's the deal. We had a student loan for a daughter who was in drug rehab deal, okay? And the loan was going fine, but we decided we wanted to refinance it. We got caught up in a loan scam of some sort. We need an attorney to help straighten this thing out. I don't know who you...
Okay. What was the scam? No, go ahead. What was the scam you were tied up in? Can you tell me about it?
What happened? Yes, she wanted to refinance this loan. It wasn't a federal student loan. It was just a student loan because it was a drug rehab thing in Utah. So anyway, so she'd been paying it along, per contract for years, and decided she wanted to get a little bit better rate and refinance it. So she goes and tries to refinance it. She talks to some people, well, we can get it dismissed. Okay, that's cool. Let's do that. So then she's continuing to make payments, but to them, she gave them a power of attorney, a revocable power of attorney, and what they did is the original
Hunter, your phone was cutting out. I didn't mean to interrupt. So the most important part is you said what they did was, and we heard nothing. So they got a power of attorney, and what did they do?
They just kept swallowing her payments, and down the road they put the loan with somebody else. We don't know what happened to those payments during that time. Quite a bit of time went by.
Well, when you got the new loan that they refied, did they ask for those back payments? Did the new lender ask for them?
As far as I know, they didn't. I wasn't directly involved.
Then
My wife was handling it.
Then it doesn't matter. You were making. I don't know what they did, but it sounds like it didn't hurt you. You got a new loan.
Yes, it's hurt us because they didn't pay off the first loan.
Oh! Wait a minute. How can you have a second loan for the same amount as the first loan if they didn't pay off the first loan?
Well, we don't know. We know we're in a scam. We just need an attorney.
Okay.
We need a name of somebody can help us.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Hunter.
An attorney won't help sort it out and figure out what happened to you. They will, but it will be very expensive. It's better to have a roadmap to say, here's what they
Who do I
did.
call?
Well, we can do that for you. We can break it all down. We just need...
Well, how can I get with you to do it?
Well, we will. Just hold on, okay? Just don't hang up. Laura needs information on a reverse loan. Hold on, Hunter. We're not putting you off. Hold on. I mean, we are putting you off for good reason. I mean, I'm going to come back to you. Laura, what is your question on reverse loans? You have approval reverse in the house.
Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for speaking to me. I have a question. I have a mortgage left of about $28,000. My house is worth about a little over $400,000, and I still have money in the bank. But I'm wondering, you know, years to come. I'm 67. I'm a widow. Am I going to need extra cash? Or I guess what I'm asking is, do I just go ahead and pay this off? And
okay, you have how much and how much equity?
Well, the house is
$370.
About $370 in
just
equity.
Rounding it off.
Okay, but you're pretty young by reverse standards for getting a lot of money out. But how much is your loan?
$28,000.
Yeah.
I just
Now,
paid another $10,000 last month in principal.
This is what I would do if I were you under your conditions. I would get a loan to pay off the first and have a line of credit for whatever else I could get, and I would keep it in reserve for an emergency because you're not going to pay interest on it if you don't need it. And as you get older, your borrowing power will go up. Can you explain that, guys? That's an option, right, or not?
So basically, you could actually use the reverse mortgage to pay off your $28,000 that you owe, and then you could set up a line of credit. We could go through the numbers exactly with you as to how much you would have. And you can make payments on a reverse mortgage, and every dollar that you pay in would go into that line of credit. So if it's not convenient for you to pay off the $28,000 today, you could use the reverse mortgage to pay it off and then make payments into the reverse mortgage. You just want to at least leave a loan balance of $100 on there to keep the line of credit open.
Right, but if you have a loan balance of $100, think about this. Then in the future, as you said, if you need money, you have a reverse loan to tap. Now, here's my question to you guys. If she gets this loan at 67, she can only access, let's say, 30% of her equity or 20%, whatever it is. I don't know what the percentage.
Yeah, so it'd be closer to maybe 45.
Okay, good. If she can get 45%, as she gets older, she can get more of that equity, right? Or would she have to refi it?
She'd have to refi it. If she puts the line of credit in place, that line of credit has a growth rate. So, it would
grow by what?
Depends on what the margin is, but I'd say about 4.5% to 5%.
Compounded?
Yes, compounded.
So do you understand what we're saying? That if you don't borrow 100, but you have 100 there, it grows every year to how much more you can borrow.
Okay. I got that.
To me, you'd need a lot more counseling. They'll go over it. It's a great thing for people in your situation. You have a line of credit. You don't have to use it, but then you don't have to worry about monthly payments either.
Right, because I know monthly, my mortgage PITI is right around $1,200.
Guess what? You no longer have to pay that.
Right, exactly. And I do have money in the bank from a sale of a farm, and my husband left me money from 20 years working for the same company, so I have like $73,000 in an IRA that I have not touched.
Well, listen, it's up to you. I would get counseling, though. I would, from them. They provide that. It's 303-771-3528.
This is Denver's Talk Station with
She's in a great position, in my opinion.
Oh, she is.
Listen, we need to help Hunter. This guy is in bad shape. And I want Dan to dissect this because he's the only one I can think of.
I'm heading out tomorrow.
Oh, how long are you going?
Back Thursday.
Oh, that's okay. Hold on. Just get his name and number. Here, tell him what we want to do is we want a roadmap of exactly what happened and some of the paperwork he signed. Before we
bother with an attorney, then we'll help them find an attorney. But why waste all that money to get to the bottom of what happened? Dan, you would be able to rope.
I know what happened.
Well, I mean, literally.
They basically were not making payments. When they were making payments, that loan was still out there.
But what new loan do they have? That's the thing. They have a new loan.
Right,
Where did those proceeds go?
Right, but the new loan, it doesn't. All her payments never went into that new loan.
I understand. The new loan, where'd the proceeds go?
I don't know.
Where are the proceeds?
Yeah, because they didn't pay off the first
Where are the proceeds?
student loan.
So now they're selling that loan to somebody else.
For all the payments she made, she stole the same amount of money.
Let's talk about living stem cell therapy. Centeno Schultz. It's the clinic I recommend first because Dr. Chris Centeno invented the clinical setting for humans and stem cell therapy many, many years ago. Really. That's why we call them the StemCellExperts.com. They also have weekly seminars where they will look at your MRI and they will do an ultrasound and they will do a really rough evaluation, meaning if they think you should go further, they'll tell you. You know what? I love these seminars. Find out more about them, the StemCellExperts.com. Or call them for an evaluation. You know, the screening, the whole evaluation is usually covered by insurance. And then you'll know if you're a candidate for stem cell therapy, and if not, they can do other therapies. That's what I love about Centeno Schultz. You may be eligible for PRP, which is less invasive and less costly. They'll do what it takes. They won't just shove you into a one-size-fits-all. Centeno Schultz, the StemCellExperts.com, 303-963-9201.
Hi folks, Dan Zucchini. Oh my gosh, how could it be that we started Gun Right Newspapers way back in 1985? How could it be that George Ramsey is now working in the business? Jeez, we didn't
I want to know why they signed a POA to that company.
Yeah.
Irrevocable POA. That was ridiculous.
What is that?
Power of attorney.
Yeah.
No, it was a revocable, not irrevocable.
Oh, I thought he said irrevocable.
I thought he said.
Because they keep taking the payments and there's...
See, that's the scam. They were taking the payments but not paying them.
But Dan, like, I want to know, like, what relationship do they have, and where is this second lender, and where's all that? I mean, we can go through it together. When I want to get the preliminary and then start looking at it. This sounds like a major scam.
Yeah.
The money they were paying to this company, that went right in their pocket.
Yeah.
But if they truly refied, and in the interim they took payments, and that refi really did pay off the first student loan, then you just have to calculate were they hurt. I mean,
I don't think it paid off anything.
I don't think it did either.
Where'd the money go?
I think they just
Yeah,
took
so
it.
that's another
They
scam.
said they refinanced it.
Scammer
I
got
mean,
the
now
money
we're talking
to pay off
about
the loan.
that's like a
Yes,
thief.
wrong.
We
Wrong.
need to report them like this is a bad thing.
And that's why he said the scam, because he found out.
Did you talk to him off the air?
I talked to her
So
2 weeks ago.
Okay, listen. They gave a power of attorney to people over the phone. They executed a loan. They might have kept the proceeds. Do they know what the new loan is? How much it is?
Well, so then they were coming after him. The original loan, they were coming after him.
How much is the original loan? Roughly the principal.
$25,000.
And by the way, it's not a student loan. When it's for rehab, they told her it's a student loan. It's just.
But it's not a federal loan, but it was considered a student loan.
Was it considered a student loan in that deferred interest and all that?
Federal loan. It wasn't federal.
Then it means deferred interest until 9 months after you graduate.
Okay, could have been. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think. What I'm saying is, I think they called it a student loan. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
But it might have been some kind of retraining. You know,
That's what it
part
was.
of-
It's
rehab,
drug
rehab,
training.
education.
And
Yeah,
that
to try to
particular
get her a
loan
job.
is how much? 25, 50?
I think something along
Okay, now,
25,000.
was
Oh
it
my
high
God.
interest? Why did they want to refi? Do you know?
They want to get the payments.
Better rate.
Okay, and instead, what did they end up with? Do you know what this new?
For all the payments she made, their amount is still the same.
And not only that, well, what's the interest? Do we know the interest rate?
I can't remember.
And the first loan's still out there.
Yes.
I mean, this is just an out-and-out
It's a
scam.
No, you're right. Right. It is a scam.
Yeah. But boy, if that much money, huh? 25 or 30,000.
Yeah. Your daughter's better though, but it was a drug rehab.
We have an angel over at.
That's good. Yeah.
She gone? She doesn't get restroom breaks.
Tell her when she comes back in that Nate would never leave the studio like that.
Point of privilege. Point of privilege. Point of privilege, please.
Yes, Comrade Martino.
Did you see that? What was going around the news, Joan?
Mm-mm.
We're referring to a convention.
Democratic
convention
Socialists.
Of the Democratic Socialists.
Thousands of them, not like a group of 10 people, literally a big convention.
Mm-hmm.
And they could not get to item 1. No.
Because there was too many points.
There were too many things they had to do first, like, no, please, can you please, this point of privilege, please stop addressing us by gendered pronouns.
I heard that part of it.
It's so
And
real.
the other one,
Incredible.
please, people, some of us suffer from sensory overload. This is much better. Jazz hands for clapping.
How they clap. You should see it. No joke.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. Look, we're going to help that guy. We're going to go through and roadmap what the problem is and try to get him help. This sounds like a major, major, major scam. A major scam. Okay, so Ellie's got a question on reverse loans. Go ahead, Ellie. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. I hope this question hasn't been asked already, but selling a home on a conventional mortgage and was thinking about financing my next one on the reverse mortgage. I wondered how it's determined what you're eligible for on the next home that you buy.
That's good to know. So what do you do, Joan?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ellie. So basically, we look at the age of the youngest person that's going to be on the loan, and the percentage is determined by that youngest person, the percentage of money that the reverse mortgage will cover. And so it's how much the house is going to cost and the age of the youngest borrower.
Oh, okay. All righty. Thank you so much for that.
No, so, I mean, I know that sounds like a lot of, there's no hard and fast formula, right, Joan?
Yeah, it's, and also, are you over 62?
I am.
So, if you've got a partner that is also going to be on the loan with you that's younger than 62, we can still do the reverse mortgage and protect that person as well.
No, I didn't know you could. That's new then, that you can.
Relatively new, the last couple of years.
So if one borrower is under 62 and the other one is like 70, what happens? They both are on the loan. Both of them or not?
It's called a non-borrowing spouse. And so they have to be married. And they would both be entitled to stay in the property. So just the borrower that's 70 would be the only one on the loan, but the other one would still be on title.
And when they're on title, they don't have to make payments?
No.
My goodness, that could really backfire on the government. That's a great provision.
Well, they lower the percentage of how much money is available to borrower based on that younger person. So.
Okay, so Renee, I know this is urgent. That's why we do have someone at Is this Excel Energy you're talking about?
No, it's actually IREA.
Ah, doggone it. I don't know if we have someone there. Tell us the problem.
So my power got shut off today. I spoke to you a few months ago, about some payday loans that I got mixed up in, and it kind of just sent me into a tailspin.
So, Renee, where do you live? In a home, apartment, or condo, or what?
A condo.
A condo that's owned by one person, or is the whole project owned and rented? How does it work?
It's owned by one person, and it's run with a property management company.
So you're renting it, okay, and the power is in this landlord's name?
Correct.
And the landlord, you've been paying the power bill, but the landlord hasn't been? Is that what it is?
No, I pay it every month. It's just always been in his name.
Okay, then why is it turned off if you're paying it?
Well, I didn't pay it this month. I thought I had until the end of today to pay the past due balance, but they shut it off, and now the full balance is due, and I don't have it.
And how much is the full balance?
$189.
And how do you support yourself?
I work as a server, and I also take care of quadriplegics. I'm a home caregiver.
And do you have children?
I do. I have 2.
And you live alone?
I live with my daughters, yes.
How old are they?
My oldest one is 22. She just moved back from Florida. My youngest one is 13.
Okay. Renee, you need $189. What keeps you from getting? What I don't understand is you are only making the minimum payment. Is that right?
Yeah, like I said, I called you back in February about the payday loans that I got caught up in, and since then it's just
Is the
snowballed
payday
into-
loan done?
No, I haven't paid them off. I'm going to file bankruptcy, but my car is getting repossessed also. So I just haven't been able to catch up from those payday loans that I made the mistake of getting, so it's just kind of snowballed to this effect.
You're working 2 jobs. I can see where a payday loan can do that to you. But I want to give you, I want a straight picture. Your car's being repossessed, and the bankruptcy won't save that. Is that correct?
Well, no, it won't, because I stopped making payments on the car so that I could pay for the bankruptcy.
When are you going to? When are you doing the bankruptcy?
I'm almost done with the payments. I've got one more payment to make, and then it'll be filed, so it should be next month.
And how did you find the attorney?
Through you.
Good.
I went through you when I spoke to you last time back in February.
Good.
You gave me some options.
Okay, what are you going to do for transportation? I'm trying to get a bigger picture. We don't like band-aiding, putting a Band-Aid on a leak in a dike that's giant and going to crash, you see? So how...
Right. No, and I had sent an email earlier this week asking if you if there was someone who could maybe possibly help with a vehicle donation or an inexpensive vehicle.
So you need more than 189 for that. You need a vehicle. You need one quickly. I mean, do you keep this vehicle insured?
I do, yes.
So you've been able to keep up with not all your payments, because obviously there's some of them are immoral, like this payday loan and all that. How much debt are you in total? Car and payday loan stuff, everything. How much total debt do you have?
About $65,000.
What's the biggest bulk of that? $65,000. What's the biggest loan?
The biggest loan was a personal loan that I had. That was $11,000 from last year, and then my car, which is well, I'm sorry, and I'm including student loans, which obviously I can't put into a bankruptcy. So
how much in student loans do you have?
About $30,000.
Have you been paying on those?
I've had them in forbearance since I've hit this rough patch.
Well, that's good. You can keep them there as long as possible. But what were you studying for $30,000?
It was actually not anything that I use now. I went to dental assisting school, which was a waste of money.
Oh, okay, so you wasted all that money and time then.
Yeah, and it was just a technical college, and I basically learned more on the job than I did in the class.
Okay. So anyway, damn. And you're sure they're regular student loans? Our attorneys looked at it?
Yeah, they're Nelnet student loans.
Okay, so you can sometimes negotiate them, but if you have them in forbearance, that's a good thing. I don't know. So are you calling because you want $189?
Well, these agencies won't let me use. I have to be on the power on the bill, and I'm not, and so.
So even if you pay it, they won't turn it on?
No, they will. They will, and I've done that in the past. I would call and pay. You know, I've paid every.
Why is it still in your landlord's name? I think that's very nice of your landlord. You could not get it in your name, probably. So your landlord agreed to do this for you?
Yes.
All right, listen, Daphne, I want to verify her story and see if we can help her with an 189, either from the charity account but first, there's a lot of because her situation is way more than just $189. I don't want to give her $189 if she's going to end up screwed up anyway. It doesn't matter. And also, Renee, I'm sorry, but I say this, okay? When people ask for a very specific amount, and it's a low amount, and it's a feasible target, many times those people are addicts. Now, I say this from 45 years of talking to people. I'm not calling her one, but you know what I mean, Mark. We've heard it, where their long string of problems happen with addiction. Renee, are you an addict of any kind?
I am not. I actually have been sober since 2013.
And what was your addiction?
Alcohol.
Okay. All right. Listen, Daphne, standard protocols for checking this person out, please. What do you guys think? Am I being too hard? I don't think so. But how many times, Mark, do we get screwed? We don't anymore because we do a lot of checking. But if we gave to everyone who asked, what percentage of those are phony baloney who just want their next fix or don't have even a plan of how to get out of their situation?
I would say with peace and love.
About what?
90%.
Are phony balonies. That's right. Maybe even more.
This report is sponsored by Exxon and Mobil.
What about that 22-year-old daughter?
Yeah,
She should go to
why
work.
don't she go to work? Exactly. And what does she do with her money? She's working 2 jobs. And filing bankruptcy?
Yeah, what do you want? Applause or you want a reaction? I heard you, bro.
One of your spots for Lazera, you're recorded.
You didn't like?
No, it's you had the wrong number.
What?
I already found it and had them delete it from the traffic system, but you're going to have to recut it and get the right number in there.
You got to tell me which one it is. I have to check the others.
He's looking it up.
But he needs to send it to me. Or did he delete
He
it?
can't send you anything from traffic. He's going to give me the name of it so you can resend it and relabel it. I had to get it out of the system.
It's $189.
You said it right the first time in the ad. The second time you said it wrong.
The most recent. I'll look. What is this?
Keeps it pretty cool at night, I guess.
She hasn't paid the $100.
Buy and Build. Oh yeah, they have a new location now. Buy and Build Kitchen and Bath at 560 South Lipan. Remember, they had a big, giant, ugly warehouse. No more. This is a beautiful orange and blue warehouse 2 blocks south of Alameda on Lipan. So you go west on Alameda from the interstate. Go south on Lipan. Or just call them for directions or go to their website. Buyandbuild.net. It's Buy and Build Kitchen and Bath. You will get below wholesale pricing on cabinets and countertops and vanities. And they offer installation now, which I used and I love them. So they do the whole thing for you at ridiculously low prices. 303-295-6022. Buyandbuild.net. I want that one.
Okay, it was criminal civil.
Wow.
Criminal/civil. Does that help you?
Yeah, I want to put it on my front page so I remember it.
Criminal/civil has been deleted.
It's deleted for what was that?
Just
none of your business.
Yeah, it's too engineers would never understand this.
Common law marriage.
It's too complex.
I'm refunding.
There's too many angles.
I'm refunding your engineer shirt.
That's what I was worried about.
What did you have to get? What did you have to get for common law marriage?
You know what refunding is?
Colorado recognizes common law marriage. I just showed them it's there because they've been there at that house together.
Margaret, did we salvage Marlon Bros?
The owner, Buddy Mitchell. I know Buddy. I know Cynthia.
I don't know yet. I'm going to call him today, actually.
Okay, I'm sorry. Criminal civil. Hold on. 2019. I don't have one called that.
He's an agoraphobic and he doesn't work. He's only 54 and she's 79.
I don't have one there.
No one's on it.
Oh, Mark, they're not running my new commercials?
For who? I'm not listening.
Criminal civil was cut in 2017. I have brand new ones way beyond that. What?
Are you sure that was the right name of that, Ed? Criminal/civil? You're sure? That thing is like 3 years old or 2 years old. We have no idea why traffic would have that still.
Can you deal with this? If I send you all the new ones, can you deal with traffic for me?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
They're not easy to deal with. Oh.
Then who's their rep? Who's their rep?
Okay, he's saying on Lazera, there's only 2 recorded lives. We got to get some more. Recorded lives.
And that shouldn't have been a recorded live. Longs, do I usually do longs or shorts for him? I'll send you a bunch of them. You, not me, you. That's our code. A short commercial is him, long one is mine.
It's like this?
Any.
Yeah, you should see those socialists clapping. It is,
I thought it was like
unless
this.
you
It's
actually
this,
see it, you've never seen anything
This
like
too?
it.
Well, where did you
No,
see it?
this.
No, where did you see it?
You can just Google it. It was everywhere. It was actually top story on Fox News right before the shooting went down. And then of course,
You mean
it
a couple
went
of
away.
days ago, you mean?
Sensory
Yeah.
overload. Sensory overload.
That was-
Then we have a quiet room for those. But please do not enter with an aggressive scent.
And then, scent. And then when people would say that, they'd all start clapping.
Oh man, I have to tell you.
Oh my
Do not
God.
talk to any conservatives or MAGA assholes.
Maybe it was like that.
Or please.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
They try to infiltrate us.
these boutique demographics, those with sensory overload, questioning gender in there, and they are, a member of some alien tribe or whatever they are. It's like, how ridiculous can we get?
Yeah,
It's
and
almost
it's just out there now. It's
Ridiculous.
yeah, when you start reading the People's Republic,
Oh, yeah, I'm
there's a
starting.
lot of that in there.
What's
the
that?
book.
What is
It's
it
called The
about?
People's Republic. It's Hillary has won, and so
Was that
they're
a
trying-
pre-recorded or
trying
was
to
that a
confiscate
like
all
live?
guns. And so the United States breaks up, and so there's the East Coast and the West Coast.
this sounds like a mini-series to me.
It could be, yeah.
Oh my God,
And
I'll bet you it turns out to be one. I'll bet you it does. This sounds
He's
wonderful.
not the best writer, but it's the.
But he's really on target.
Yeah, he is.
And it's called
People's Republic, and then there's three
And you
of
love
them.
it.
So it was a good book, and then I'm reading the second one now. George said the third one isn't that good.
Who's the writer?
Oh gosh.
Neil Shetler.
Yeah,
Shelter.
or Neil Shutt. Yeah. I can't
I'm
even
Tom
pronounce
Martino,
it.
your troubleshooter. Simply Floors Inc. And I don't mean ink like in a pen, I mean incorporated. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Remember that name? For the best pricing, best installation, best everything, best all-around people. I'm serious, by the way, when I say that. I don't use the word best lightly. I know I use it a lot because I have sought out these people. Mark found him. SimplyFloorsInc.com, 52nd and Ward, Southwest corner, 303-456-4660. Just go to Simply Floors Inc. Make your own appointment. Okay, we got reverse loans in the house. One of the emails, other qualifications. Score you don't look at, but you look at credit payment history. You want to make sure they're going to make their payments on insurance, taxes, and they can even use the line of credit for that,
Yes.
or the payments. What other qualifications do you look for a borrower?
So we have to get into the income. And the reason that we have to look at income is to make
Really?
sure that they have enough money, the capacity to pay the taxes and insurance, and then have a bit left over to live on.
Wait a minute. So income. What income is required on an 84-year-old?
So if it's a single person, the remaining that needs to be left over after paying, looking at all their expenses, they have to have residual income of $589. For a couple.
For a month?
A month.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not a
So
lot.
it's really not onerous,
Okay.
although there
rather than saying, there's all kinds of requirements, really there aren't that many. I mean, people, I think, don't make the phone call because they're afraid. Yeah. But you can tell in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like they have to get involved. They don't have to fill out long apps.
Oh, no.
If you tell the truth, Joan and Mary Jane can tell you pretty much if you're qualified within just a few minutes. Speaking of a few minutes, since there's a few minutes left of the show, I want you to call now or forever hold your peace until tomorrow, that is. And you can call 303-713-TALK. Daff, I can take that like in a split second or not. Otherwise, we do it tomorrow. And by the way, if you're listening online, you can call 303-MARTINO at any time. You'll get voicemail. And when you do, you leave a number. Deputy Dan listens to those every single day. 303-MARTINO. 303-627-8466. Now, how do you get a hold of approval? Their number, I told you, approvalreverse.com. Their phone number is 303-771-3528. So when it comes to reverse loans, there is an upper limit, right? What is the upper limit for a loan?
So it's based on what the house appraises for. So the maximum home
Appraisal.
value is $729,000.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, the amount you can take depends on your age.
Correct.
All right. We're done, folks, but we still have all the time for you for help, information, and referrals. Referralist.com.
Hey, if you
The
guys
unemployment rate is at
ever heard, like real hand though, not some kind of wives' tale or story, of someone like in a reverse mortgage and the person dies and like the family like kind of just buries them out back and they stay in the house for a long time. I mean, it's gotta. Same with Social Security checks. I know this happens.
So
And now no
it's-
reason to do it.
It's really interesting because, and I didn't
You know
follow
why,
up on
Mark?
this.
They let the others non-borrowers
Somehow
live
they
there.
find out that they're dead.
No, I mean like if
The
there's
lender
kids
finds
living
out.
there.
The lender.
Like the kids move in to take care of them
No,
as
no, I know what
the
you're
adult
saying.
gets older.
And they
Yeah.
just keep it.
Then the lender has
But
to
the-
evict the kids.
Yeah.